Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 126 of Summon Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth game discussion podcast. I am your host, as always, Brad Ellison. Joining me today, two fine gentlemen. But first, we're going to start with Mr. Cognito. He's back. Cog, great to see you.
Likewise.
How are you?
Better, recovering. Mama Cog is home, so I'm happy. That was a whole saga, as our esteemed guest knows. And man, I'm just thankful to be here and doing what I want to do again, and just getting my life back. It's just been a lot. It's been a lot. So yeah, in the mix, man. Yeah.
It's good to have you back. I saw Lockmort was filling in for you a little bit on Duke. So check that out if you want to see that, man.
Why didn't you go, Brad? It should have been you, Brad.
I only go when there's disaster.
Xbox.
Yeah, I only go when there's bad news. So I'll be gone for a little bit, seemingly. We'll see, though. We'll see how Summer Game Fest goes and all that.
Maddie, last conversation I had with Maddie, he was like, we're going to test the Brad curse theory post Summer Games Fest. So he can't affect Summer Games. What is it?
Brad has to get an invite to Fan Fest, and he has to be right there. So everything can burn down just right there in the
Y'all get dirty looks from everybody. Sorry, guys. I can't help it. But yes, also joining us, Mr. Lord Sov of the Iron Lords podcast. Great to have you on finally. Been trying to make this happen for a while.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the accommodation. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for pulling me out of the salt mines that is my life.
Yeah.
I said Memorial Day weekend, I'm going to take a couple of days on the back end and the front end. So almost a week off total.
All right. Okay.
So I spent it sort of setting up my my office and stuff like that and trying to work on that. But yeah, I'm home. So I was like, well, Cog, if there's any time, it's going to be now. So
yeah, this is the time.
I guess we're going to see each other in 2 weeks, probably.
Yes, we will.
At Summer Game Fest. So
yeah,
but yeah, thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, of course. I told some people at LSM that you're going to be on the show, and they were like, "Oh, that's great. He's awesome." So
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, a lot of LSM fam that are close friends and whatnot, and cool people. Love LSM.
Yes. Yeah. Are you guys ready for Summer Game Fest? It's coming up quick.
No.
But I'm forced to be.
This is my first since I've been to a couple of E3s and whatnot, but the guys have been there since it became Summer Game Fest. So this is my first kind of seeing what the Keeleys are all about. So I'm interesting, but looking at our Trello board is looking kind of it's kind of packed. It's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah. I just looked. Next week is when it starts. Oh boy.
Yeah,
I'm not ready. I got to plan for stuff with the Sacred Boys. Got to get all that going. So, we're in it now. But it's exciting. It'll be fun. Can't wait to see what Mr. Keeley's got and all of his teases he's already doing. He's teasing like Steam coming out, like sewers and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, really? He is?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm like, all right, Jeff Keeley. All right.
Yeah, don't we have a State of Play next week or something like that?
We do. Yeah, on the second. Yeah. When's the Xbox one?
It is the Sunday, the 7th?
6th? Okay.
Yeah,
it's the 6th. Okay, that should be exciting too. Yeah, and I'm sure Nintendo will squeeze in there as well as they always do. Very exciting. All right. Before we get into the show, everybody, please check us out on patreon.com/laststandmedia. If you'd like to support us, you can get early ad-free access to all of our content. We greatly appreciate it. We can't do it without you guys over there. Also, if you want some merch, laststandmedia.store. Micah will send it to you from the Moriarty household. So if you want some nice merch, go ahead and head over there. Also, if you want to support these dudes, ILP, Iron Lords podcast, you can do that. You guys go live every Sunday, right? What time? 1 Eastern? Is that when you go on?
Eastern. Yeah.
Okay. So you can watch them there. I've tuned in every now and then. It's always chaos over there. So good time.
And you can guarantee that you can tune into the middle of anything, and somebody's going to be laughing, somebody's going to be yelling, somebody's going to be it's a good time.
Yeah, I get to see Cog host on there, which doesn't happen too often here. And I like to see him kind of twist the knife. Because I like to do that to Cog and Maddie when I'm on the show.
He instigates, and he acts like he doesn't. He does it like so. Yeah, so innocently. No, I don't know what you're talking about, but like,
just questions.
Yeah, Cog is sneaky.
Pushes King towards the console warring, and King's happy to do it.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He's a professional.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, professional podcaster. That's what we do.
This is just life. He's been doing this whole life. Like,
really?
So
Interesting.
Easily.
Many a session of Tekken or N64 wrestling has gone left because of the shit talking that we do.
It goes crazy.
It goes crazy.
It's fun. It's fun.
How long have you two known each other?
Wow, kindergarten, technically.
Oh, okay. So it's been that long. All right.
It's been that long.
I got a couple friends like that too.
Yeah, I jumped off and went to different schools at certain points. Then we came back together, I think, at third grade. And then I went off to like boarding school in high school and whatnot. And then after that, I came back. And then since then, we've kind of all been together. Me, King, and Cog. And then obviously Attic now. Yeah.
I love that.
I would say we had our school run was like kindergarten 1 year, and then like you said, third grade all the way to junior high. We went to Clark, and then that's when after Clark junior high school, then he went to boarding school and then came back. But we had to run and we almost like in the same classes,
everything.
All the time, everything. Like
everything. We lived close to each other, so we'd always have like when we were young, they were basically play dates. Basically, it would be like he'd come over to my house and we'd play whatever it's like a Master System or whatever, and then I go over to his house and the same thing. So it was funny. Our moms, shout out to Mama Cog. I'm so glad she's home. She we would not be who we are if she hadn't facilitated us, being able to play games in a safe place and whatnot and congregate. Because at the end of the day, we would have been hanging in the streets. That's what that's kind of what you do if you don't have anything else better to do. So, it really kind of changed the course of a lot of people's lives, like for sure. Because we had that place to just go there and play games and forget about everything else that was going on.
And then what evolved is kind of like every Saturday hangout. We come over my house, all the kids, you know what I'm saying, from the block. Like that was the known oasis, and we gonna play video games all day and wild out. So we was rambunctious, but we had fun. But the other cool thing about Mama Cog was that she was kind of like the switchboard operator for all the other parents to know where their children are. They were like, I haven't seen, Marco, or I haven't seen this one. Right? And they were like, oh, yeah, he's here. They're up there doing playing games or whatever. And our old Sov, he was the first, obviously I influenced him to be a Sega kid because he had a decision to make when his parents were getting him a gift, whether it be the NES or the Master System. I was like, get the Master System. Sega,
you doing him dirty, man. You always picking the wrong teams, Cog, every time.
We were both advocates of the underdogs, right? So this is the thing. I'll tell the story quickly. Like my dad, he rest in peace. He took me to Sears, and he was like, hey, by that time the Santa Claus, cat's out the bag. We know Santa Claus isn't real. He's like, look, you're gonna pick what you want for Christmas. I don't want to make a mistake. We went to Sears. We had the SNES set with like everything. Rob, I think the light gun, it was a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And then you had the Master System. I forgot what it was called. The whole set with the light gun and everything came with Hang On Safari Hunt. It came with something else. I think I got Rambo, First Blood Part 2, which is like an Akari Warriors sort of knockoff. It was very good. Excellent game. But this was the kicker. Cog and I, we loved Double Dragon. We absolutely adore Double Dragon. We would sometimes we would walk home from school instead of taking the bus to go to this little shisty laundromat to play Double Dragon. And we'd be there. We'd waste all of our quarters. Sometimes, our parents would give us some money for lunch or some snacks or whatever. Keep the money, not buy anything, go play Double Dragon on the way home. So we loved Double Dragon. And at that Sears, there was a promotion like, hey, if you buy the Master System Superset, whatever the case may be, you will get Double Dragon, the authentic two-player, true to the arcade experience, Double Dragon in the mail before it actually launches in stores. And I saw that, I was like, oh, that's it. That was it. Wow. I was a Sega kid there, and that was it. And then when I got home, it sat with me. I'm like, oh shit, I got bamboozled, man. They're not sending me shit, man. And then a couple of months later, it was Christmas. So first of all, I couldn't touch that Master System till Christmas, and this was like early November, so I had to. It was just hiding in my dad's closet. And then, so Christmas came. I think it was like April. I get a package in the mail, and it's Double Dragon.
Ooh.
And it's like, it's pristine, the booklet, the cartridge. And I can't, the rule in my house is you can't play during the week. No gaming during the week. You play Friday afternoon. Saturday, you do all your homework on Saturday. You can play, and you can play some Sunday unless I had baseball. But it was like my time was restricted. So yeah, man, I had Double Dragon. I brought it to school because nobody believed me that I had it.
Yeah, nobody believed you. Yeah.
And then Cog took advantage of the fact that Cog could play whatever. Like he could play with his mom did let him play like during the week. It didn't matter. So he comes home with me that day, like, hey, because I didn't bring the game to school. I brought the booklet to show people in the case. Yes. And so we get home, and it's funny. He asked my mother for permission to borrow it, not me. He asked my mom.
That's so funny.
He's like, Mrs. Andujar, can I borrow this game? He's like, oh yeah, sure, Mary, no problem. And I'm looking at him like, I hate you. By the time he returns the game on Friday, he's beating it 10 times over. He's just like,
it's amazing, man. Look.
Yeah, man, that's the story of how I officially became a Sega kid. It wasn't all his fault. It was mine too, because I saw Double Dragon and my eyes went.
And at the time, Brad, like I said, the NES version was a single player. It didn't have to. So the Master System was the actual superior version. Yeah. And I remember we didn't believe it until we saw it up like, yo, they actually have a port of Double Dragon. And Double Dragon at that time was just
huge.
My God, what's that? Technos Japan. Oh my God!
And then back then you didn't know when anything was coming out, right? You'd go to the store every day to ask, hey, is this coming out? Is this out or whatever? So to have an idea when something was coming out, and for me to actually have it before everybody else, like that, they didn't lie to me.
Oh yeah.
I slept with that case for a month.
I mean, you guys are in New York area, so
yeah,
you would get stuff probably earlier than a lot of places in the country too.
Yep.
Like I know there was a lot of soft launches in New York area first, so that's very interesting.
And we were big into the import scene as well, so we get Japanese games and stuff. There's a story associated with everything. I remember, I used to go every Friday downtown to either Penguin Village or J&L, and these were the places that we'd go to just to see what they had. And all of us by that time had modded PS1s and whatever. And I go into Penguin Village, and the guys, they know my name. They're like, hey, Brian, come here. I got to show you something. Check out this ninja game. And I'm like, oh my God. It was Tenchu.
Tenchu. PS1?
It was Tenchu, PS1, Japanese version. I don't know I think we got it a year later, maybe more. I immediately grabbed it, and these guys were cool that they had printouts of menu translations for us. That's how these guys are great. I get to Cog's house. Everybody's in Cog's house playing wrestling, I think. I'm like, I need to turn this off. Just throw on this game. And we threw on Tenchu, and we were just taking turns back and forth on a controller. I mean, it was the first time that the shadows actually mattered. True stealth kind of mattered. It was Metal Gear Solid before Metal Gear Solid to us. I mean, obviously, we had played Metal Gear on the NES and whatnot, but nothing to this extent, man. And, like I said, all these moments and games have stories associated with it when it comes to us.
Of course. Yeah, it's so crazy to think about like that stuff how you're saying we didn't know when games came out. Because like I even remember when it was a lot of stuff like that, just not knowing something's coming out. We're getting something a year and a half later. This game's out in Japan. And you're like, when's it coming over here? Kind of thing like that. Luckily, we don't have to deal with that so much anymore.
No, not anymore.
We've mostly gone past that. But yes, I definitely remember that. The modded PS1s. Oh, yeah. I remember that. I'm sure you had
the flipped over PS1.
Yes. I'm sure you had all the burn games on Dreamcast, too.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Yeah. Everybody had those those CD booklets.
Yeah, I knew. Everyone knew a guy.
Those are all photos.
Everyone knew a guy. Yeah. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I had like a bookshelf full of these like binders. Not good. Not good.
But when you're a kid or whatever, or a teenager and you're broke, you don't think like you should probably. You're just like, oh, it's right here. Hey, this guy just gave me this game. It's right here. Oh, sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Jet Set Radio. Okay, I'll play it.
There were spots in downtown Chinatown dedicated to that, like dedicated to that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys still have any like your old cartridges and stuff like that from your kid that you were like, I can't get rid of this? Like, for instance, I have my original Zelda copy.
Oh, wow.
Like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, for me, it was tough because our era kind of had it initiated like the trade-in era.
Yes.
So when unfortunately,
so many victims to that.
So many victims. So when you obviously you're not working, and then it's about saving up to get the next thing, and then they give you this. Oh, but if you trade in your old thing and you get like 50% off or whatever it is, and towards that new purchase. So unfortunately, I fell victim to that all the time, always trading in something to get the next thing, and it was just like, damn. I wish now that I look back, like, man, I should have kept some of this stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was even consoles, everything. It was like the new thing is out. Now you try to get as much credit as you can, and then you try to put the money on top of it to kind of close out the deal and the cycle. So yeah, unfortunately, man, I don't have hardly any. Most of the stuff I have now is kind of like buying something new, that or you find in a pop-up shop, like when we went to Japan and stuff like that. And I think Teddy got me the Revenge of Shinobi, the Mega Drive version, and I was like, oh, this is sick, same kind of thing. But that's the extent of it. What I got now.
Yeah, same for me. Like, you traded in stuff to get the new thing, and you knew you were going to Funko Land or GameStop or even
Funko Land. Yeah,
you were going to get robbed. You knew it, but you wanted the new thing. And sometimes, it stung when you got home and the new thing sucked, but you had it. So that was the thing. And then even later when I had this, we had disposable income, right? We could pretty much buy whatever we wanted. Then at that point, it was just about excess. So it's like, oh, I'm going to get every launch game for this console. I still have to trade stuff in because that's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I wound up getting rid of a lot of stuff. I tell these guys all the time, like my Saturn collection was like serious. I had a lot of Saturn games, import and US. Like they only made, I don't know how many copies of Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Yes.
I had 3. I had 3, 2 sealed, and 1 that I opened to play. And at some point, I traded them for God knows what. I don't recall specifically what, but yeah, I had a bunch of stuff, man. And just for whatever reason, they went, And now looking back at it, like looking at prices now, I'm like, oh, this will never happen again.
Yeah, just for context for listeners, I'm looking at price charting. Panzer Dragoon Saga, the complete price is $1,197.
Wow.
That's open though, right?
Yeah, just as complete. Loose is $800.
Yep. People sell the discs for $800. I think it's what, 4 discs, 5 discs?
Yeah, so there you go. It's quite the rare game. Sadly. Yeah, I know. I've sold so many. PS1 is kind of like the thing that got the most victims, I would say, for me, where I just traded in so many games that era.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man, my original Final Fantasy Tactics. And I'm like, I wish I just had those games. Some of them are like super rare, but I wish I just had them for the memories associated with them.
Yeah, and then when you go back to get them, and it's like, it's the green like collect whatever it is, the greatest hits, and it's not the same.
Yeah, it ain't the same. Yeah, my original Final Fantasy VII's gone. I have the green label one now still, but I'm like,
yeah, I know. It hurts, I listening to Dustin's escapades and trying to go back and get that stuff, and it's like, man, it's an undertaking. It's an undertaking, and it's expensive, and it's getting even more expensive. So
yeah. Luckily, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I don't want these games. I just want my original one back, and I know I won't get that one back, so I just kind of let it go now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's more too. Everything, because like you said, everything's associated with like the emotions of that moment. Whether it was like, oh, what I wouldn't give to get that Rambo First Blood back and that Double Dragon back, because I associate those with my dad, right? So
exactly.
But I'll emulate them. That's fine.
Emulate them. It's fine. We'll play them. We'll figure out a way to play them. It's okay. All right. Christopher wrote and said, "Hey guys, I know this is a gaming podcast, but Cog and Sov are from New York. I believe so many question is how crazy New Yorkers are going to go if the Knicks win the NBA Finals. All right. Yes, the Knicks. How's it going to be over there when that happens?
Bro, they gonna turn up. Like you gotta say, like Knicks fans." is a special, different level of energy. It's like you can't allow the Knicks fans to win because they don't know how to act.
So they win one game in the series, they don't know how to act. Bro, like, forget about winning the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I'm taking it back, Sov, to when, like, remember, like, when the Knicks were actually good in the 90s?
Yeah.
And, like, it was the Ewing, Oakley, and all that. And then
Starks. And
all that. And then, but, Jordan was the powerhouse, and they came. I'd never forget. The Knicks were up 2-0 at one point in that series. You couldn't tell a Knicks fan anything. They were popping off so strong.
I remember the Starks dunk.
That was the Starks dunk. Remember up 2-0? And then probably lost the rest of the series. But yeah, New York Knicks has been a lot of heartbreak. And, it is cool to see when the Knicks win, though. Like, the energy of the city is special. And they pop off. So, yeah, I've been casually watching, just seeing from the side. But, yeah, man, if they pull this off, it does feel like this might be, a year for them. Yeah. So what you think, Sal? Like, how's
I agree, man. Like, New Yorkers in general don't know how to act, but Knicks fans are like a special kind of crazy because, like I said, like they'll pop off with one playoff win. It's like, they're in the streets. So that's what it is like after every win. So obviously you're a win away from the finals. You haven't been there since you got there, I guess, against the Spurs, right? That they lost, and then they lost against Olajuwon and the Rockets.
The Rockets, yeah.
And before then, the last time they won was when?
I mean, it's the 70s or whatever. Was the guy coming out the was there.
It's gonna be, if they can get there and they can make it happen, it's special. And it seems like they're a special team, and like any playoff series in any sport. If you're hot and you keep up that momentum, you don't have to be the best team. You just have to be the team playing the best at that moment. And I think right now they're on such fire that they don't want a day off. They don't want anything. Yeah. They just want to keep playing. But it's exciting to see Knicks fans like really and truly excited about the prospects of getting to the finals, right? And the true possibility of winning it. So yeah, it's gonna be, New York gonna be crazy for sure.
Yeah. So buckle up, guys, if you're there. All right, let's see here. Risen wrote and said, "Hey, fellas, good to see both of you guys on the podcast with Brad. I think ILP is such a unique show that should get even more love than it already does. King plays a hell of a wrestling heel, and the rotating cast of extra folks you orchestrate in and out is great. Just a shout out for folks who don't listen in." Look at that. You're getting some love right there.
That's just absolute Risen salute. Yeah, that's pretty accurate description.
I think it is definitely theater and drama. King, obviously. King is king. He's always make no mistake. That's him, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously on the show, he hams it up to the umpteenth level because he turns it up because he knows people feed off of it. And they feed off of it whether they love it or they hate it. They feed off of it, and then all of us kind of feed off of it. So it's absolutely. He's always been very good at playing like the wrestling heel.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. But thank you, Risen. I appreciate the love.
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right, let's talk about our first game here, which is Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Sov, you've been playing this game. I'm very curious to hear about it. I haven't played through a Lego game since the PS2 era, so I've been out on Lego games, but I did get this. I haven't played it yet, though. Please.
Right. So I am equal parts of fraud as well.
Okay.
In that I think the only Lego game I ever purchased on launch was Lego City Undercover because it was a Wii U exclusive.
Oh, dark days, man.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I just got to go off real quick. Everybody looking back at the Wii U with like rose-tinted glasses, how great it was, how many games were there. It's like, you guys weren't there.
You weren't there.
We were there. It sucked.
Yes.
When that thing died, I was happy and I spit on its grave. Time to move on.
Dude, I immediately unplugged it from my entertainment center. I really did. And the thing is, the games that did come out were good. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't enough of them. They came out so late. It was technically, I remember when they were trying to sell me, what is it? Arkham City Armored Edition or something like that.
Yeah, my god, that interview with Jeff Keighley and Reggie Fils-Aimé about that game is so funny.
God, man, I was just like, really, you're selling me this game again because he has some electrified armor or something like that. The only things that at that launch, obviously, I think it was the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U, right? I like Zombie U. Zombie U used
Zombie U was like one of the cool ones. Yeah.
The gamepad very well. Nintendo Land was like whatever, but it was a freebie. And
it was a Wii Sports situation, pretty much.
Yeah. But man, so yeah, when I saw Lego City Undercover, I was like, let me get this, man. And I have to, let me rep this machine. And I think I played it all of 2 hours and I'm like, it's not for me. It seems like it's good. It's of quality. The comedy is cool, but I'm too old for it. It's not resonating with me where I'm going to sit here and finish this game. Right. So actually, all these years later, maybe 6 months ago, there was some crazy sale on Lego games on like all platforms. So at this point, I think I own every Lego game across all the platforms that I have. So I'm in on Lego if I have a kid or whatever, and I want to plop them in front of a game. I have all the Lego games there ready to go. But it was that whole thing of like these games being kind of more for a younger audience that kind of, I was like, whatever. But then I, like everyone else, when I saw the trailer of what this game would be, and I saw Arkham type combat, I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. And then I had heard that the Skywalker saga had they tried to deviate from what, classic Lego games had been somewhat, right? So I'm like, okay, this is something that they're planning on, right? So to see them tackling an Arkham style gameplay, in a world where we're not going to see anything from Rocksteady anytime soon. A rumor is that they're working on a Batman Beyond game. We'll see. But yeah, after, the debacle that was Suicide Squad, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. It looks great. And it looks like they're gleaning from all different eras of Batman. So I was like, I'm jumping in. Mm-hmm. And after playing it, I think I have about 8 or 9 hours in.
Yeah, good chunk.
I have to say that it's Arkham Light. It's Arkham Light in that it takes the overall sort of feel of the combat when it comes to, free flow, jumping from enemy to enemy, parrying, flipping over them. It takes that, and that's kind of all you get for the most part. You get your sort of quick gadget throws, which are Batarang. And depending on the different characters that you're using, well, their sort of quick gadget move is different. Like with Catwoman, I think the whip and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that is kind of the extent of where the combat goes in terms of how it measures up to like an Arkham game, because it's not as deep. The skill tree isn't as deep. You get general skill upgrades for combat in general, like getting more focus. You have when you build up your focus, you can do a focus attack on enemies. And you could, it's kind of a cinematic move that's usually, obviously, it's a Lego game, so it's hilarious, right? Mm-hmm. On bigger bosses and stuff like that, it takes off a lot of energy. But again, everything animated very beautifully and and comedically. And then you have sort of exploration type upgrades where you can do and you can improve your stealth as well, right? Things like that. But the same thing, like getting focus and stuff for stealth moves and things like that. So all of the general things that you expect from an Arkham game are there. It's just you don't have the depth that you would get in a Rocksteady game.
Yeah.
But that said, looking at graphically, let's talk about it graphically. The game is absolutely beautiful. Like gorgeous. When you look at the shininess of these Legos and the detail on all the characters, moments when like the rain is coming down in Gotham City and you can see the raindrops, on the shiny Legos, on Batman's cape and cowl, you can see the textures on the cape and the cowl and the water on it. Like I'm running this stuff, on decently high end PCs. I have not played it on consoles. I don't know how it looks on console, but on PC, it's a pretty beautiful looking game. Then you go to the open world, and again, as a fraud on Lego games, I don't know if the Lego games generally do have open worlds, or they've been more closed off zones, but this is straight up an open world. And the first thing I noticed that's different from Arkham games, you guys know in Arkham games, they were 360 games for the most part. And in the last one, obviously Xbox One, PS4. But for the most part, they could not handle the population of people in the world, right? So we always had to have a reason why nobody was in the streets. Yeah. so here, there's people in the streets. Like there's people walking down the block. There's people, pulling out umbrellas in the rain, having conversations in the street, shiesty things going on in back alleys. There's same thing like in an Arkham game where you can just stand on a rooftop, and obviously calls will come in over the radio saying, hey, there's a crime being committed here, get over there. It's the open world is beautiful to behold, and it's so detailed that I'm like, wow. Again, I would like to throw on an older Batman game to see kind of how it compares, because it really does feel like they tried really hard to give you that open world feel of an Arkham game, and at the same time kind of give that little push to Rockstar, like, oh, we could do people in our world. So yeah, that part kind of amazed me, because I wasn't sure about that. You know what? I didn't notice it until I did, and I'm like, wait a minute. The other games don't have that. I have people I'm crashing into people in the streets. The Batmobile stuff is cool too, because the Batmobile, you can summon it kind of like in Arkham Knight. You can kind of summon it at a whim, and what happens is that it just kind of gets built right in front of you, and you can dive into it from the top of a building and land right into it. I don't know if this happens throughout the entire game, but early on, I'm playing in conjunction with Jim Gordon, right? So you're swapping back and forth between them depending on what you're doing. Sometimes there's a combat scenario, you're obviously playing with Batman, but then there's a more puzzle-like element that you have to traverse something, whatever, and he has something that would allow you to get past a certain point. So you go back and forth between them. Additionally to that, like conversations that you have with either members of the police force or NPCs are dependent on who they want to talk to. Like, for instance, I get a call from Harvey Bullock, and we go meet Harvey Bullock, and I go in as Batman. He's like, dude, who are you? Like, I'm waiting for I'm waiting for Detective Gordon. Like, don't make me arrest you. Get up out of here. Like, they don't, because again, hilarious. Batman isn't known to them at that point. So this is another thing. So the way it's structured is it's essentially, and this is what I hope it is over the long term of the game, I hope that it's gleaning from all different eras and aspects of Batman, whether it be Batman Begins, the Schumacher movies, whatever, like the Tim Burton movies, all that stuff. That's my hope, that it's gleaning from different parts of that to give you one overall story. So far, you kind of start the game out and it feels very Batman Begins. It is straight up Batman Begins. And then once you get into Gotham, then you see aspects of the Batman in there, right? You see aspects of sorry for my dog if you can hear her.
Yeah, you're good.
So you see aspects of the Batman in there, right? So my hope is that continues throughout the game, and you see different aspects of the movies and the shows and stuff like that kind of integrate themselves into this one overarching story. But yeah, man, I am really impressed with this game. I'm really, really, truly impressed with this game, because for me, I went in just excited to see how much of an Arkham game it was. And it is very much still Arkham Light. I would have loved it if we had this expansive combat skill tree. Sure, yeah. I would have loved all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the game is fun enough. The approach to the story of Batman and kind of this overarching sort of telling the entire tale of Batman with this, beautiful engine, great, voice acting and comedic moments. I think it really hit for me, and I did not expect it to. I was hoping that it would, but I was kind of going into it's a Lego game. And to be fair, I think the things that I recall from playing little bits of old Lego games, whatever I remember playing of Lego City Undercover, parts where puzzle elements are involved and you have to figure things out and you have to break things down in the world in order to build something that allow you to get past a certain obstacle. That sort of stuff is still there, right? Okay. I think that's something that's kind of core to Lego games. So that sort of stuff is still there. And that's the part where it does feel more for a younger audience, because it's very simple. You're just punching stuff. Again, because it's Legos, you can pretty much punch and break everything, and you're going to be collecting, Lego pieces all over the place. And those things allow you to get, that's what allows you to sort of improve the upgrade skill tree. Mm-hmm. So that sort of stuff, that's where it kind of toes that line of being more for a younger audience. But I think what's here is serviceable to both a younger audience and an older audience. Those of us that are starved for an Arkham style game, if you haven't played Mad Max, I know a lot of people didn't. Mad Max is very much an Arkham style game, but you're killing people.
You're right.
Awesome. So maybe play that. But I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with this, and I will, despite, First Light coming out in a day or so, I'm going to continue to play this, which is something that I did not know that I would be doing once I started it. But yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I think if they continue down this path with other Lego games and make them more make them more sort of gameplay heavy and change up some of the classic gameplay elements that would kind of turn away somebody that's a little older and mature, I think they really have something here, because the comedy is such that it'll hit for small kids, and then you have inside jokes that an adult is going to understand more, right, and stuff like that. It still does that, and does that very well. So yeah, I'm excited to keep playing this game, and I'm excited for what this means for like Lego games in the future. I hope they don't revert and continue to sort of expand upon this formula, because I think it's a winning formula for sure.
Yeah. The only thing I'm curious about, I guess, from what you said is Gotham and open world. I assume there's a bunch of side stuff you do in the open world. What are some examples?
Like I said, like the just kind of seeing crimes happen in the open world. Like you'll get calls over the radio, and then you'll get like a little red reticle comes up, and it'll tell you how far you are from it. And usually it's somebody getting jumped, it's somebody getting beaten up or whatever, mugged. Beyond that, I've only sort of followed main story mission stuff. Like it'll tell you like, hey, we have some time before we need to get to this thing. Let's see what's going on in the open world. And there's certain things, like for instance, the Riddler missions, right? The Riddler missions that we all know from the Arkham games, they have the same sort of thing where it's like, hey, there's this dude calls himself the Riddler, and he has these caches of things throughout the city that he's getting towards something, but we don't know. And the same thing, like you arrive to, you find a sort of a Riddler insignia, you get there and he's there taunting you like, oh, I didn't think you were smart enough to do this. And it's the same sort of thing. I don't know. I know Lego games are kind of known for their collectibles and the amount of collectibles. I don't know that it delves into like the craziness of Arkham Knight Riddler collectible stuff. I don't know that it's that. But it's all, that stuff is all there. Beyond that, I haven't seen a whole lot more, but again, you unlock other characters to play as well. You're going to be unlocking like Catwoman and stuff like that. And from what I've seen so far in the open world, that is kind of what you get. Story-wise, it's very, I'm not going to say it's linear, but it does sort of lead you along a certain path and then allow you to break off whenever you want. But so far, I haven't seen a whole bunch of distinction in the open world. Like, again, still relatively light in that regard, but I could be wrong. Again, I'm only 8 hours in or so.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cog, any interest in this?
Yes, actually, it was the fact that it had the Arkham fighting system in it. Because to be honest with you, like I think the only Lego game I've ever picked up was the Marvel Heroes one, and only because it had Silver Surfer. And I got a rule that I'm like, anytime Surfer's in the game, I gotta purchase it. But no, I saw this and I was like, nah, this looks good. And when I saw the Arkham style combat, I'm like, yeah, I got to rock with it. But the other thing for me is I'm a huge Bane fan.
Oh, Bane. Okay.
So I was like, oh, they're doing that Batman in it also. So I'm like, oh, I got to rock with it. So yeah, it's on the docket. Said I got a whole backlog of stuff and new games to pick up. But yeah, that's definitely getting caught. Because me and Manny were talking about it. I was like, yeah, I got to let my old curmudgeon self go and play this quote unquote children's game. But it looks fun as hell. I ain't gonna hold you. It looks funny.
The playground. Let's go.
Yeah. That's what I was asking. I know.
Creepy guy.
Gotta
a creepy cog.
Van energy. Yeah, no, it looks good. I ain't gonna hold you. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it too. Like you were saying though, a lot of games coming out right now. A lot. Like you said, Bond's a day away. Mina the Hollowers coming out soon, which I'm very excited about.
Wow, I forgot about that. 29th, right?
Yes. So
oh my God.
It's getting rough out there.
Yeah. For
It's
sure.
getting rough. I will say, Cog, our Game of the Year episode this year will be very fun.
Yes.
Very fun.
Yes.
And probably too long as always.
Yeah, of course.
All right. Speaking of Game of the Year, this could be a contender right here. Forza Horizon 6, the newest one. I haven't played this yet. It looks awesome, though. I played a little bit of 5. Really dug it. Love arcade racers, so it's nice to get that. Cog. Here we go. Brand new one in Japan now. You've been playing. Talk to me.
Bro, I mean, it's funny because, we came into the year saying, all right, Playground has 2 major releases, right? And Forza was the safe pick, and obviously we know they got Fable, but as a person who loves this series so much, and this is where I want the direction of the franchise to go, to see people embrace it the way they are is really surprising to me, because it's my baby, but throw the Japan backdrop as a character, it just takes it to another level. Like it is literally, this game satiates the synapses in a way that I can't describe, because you can't stop. You can't. It's always the next thing. What's the next race I'm going to do? What's the next challenge? And then again, as a person who, I struggle with open world games, to be honest, because I get sensory overload. Or when you look at the map and it's so many icons, it's like map vomit, and I'm like But again, the way they've streamlined it, and me and Sov, we did our Forza review for ILP, is that I love what they've done. A simple thing with Anna, the quote unquote GPS directional computer that's in your car, where you'll press down and say, hey, what's next? And then a screen will pop up and it'll give you the distinct things. Hey, we recommend you do these 2 things, and these things will get you to qualify for the next wristband and to the next thing. And that whole cycle is so addicting. And then while you're en route to driving to the next thing, wow, here's something that you can explore about, Japanese culture and do tours and do all these things. And it's just so many cool modes. And I'm also a person that I love, finding the little, horizon boards and, figuring out how to crash into those, and what momentum or what angle I need to take to get air, to get some hard to reach ones. I love the mascot system, because I feel like each region of Japan has, like, one might be a ramen bowl, but I think like they take something from that region to try to, represent it in a form of a mascot. And it's really cool. And then the other thing too is, now that the game is kind of more an online thing, these festival playlists, it's very seasonal, and there's everything you do can target very specific cars and stuff like that. I think my only negative right now about it is that, because the game always rewards you, it always gives you something, and a lot of it gives you a lot of. My only negative right now is that I don't feel like I have a lot of car attachment, because it's like you get so many, and especially from wheel spins, and or you do an event and they recommend a certain specific type of car, stuff like that. And I'm not saying it's like bad to drive other cars, but I feel like I'm not staying in one car for a long period of time, because it's always something new to mess around with. And then, man, graphically, this game is spectacular. And again, this was something, most of the games I'm playing was going to be games that I played on the ROG Ally due to my hospital visits with the mom. So I was playing the ROG a lot. And this game, shout out to Sal for the settings he gave me, to push this thing, past 60 frames per second with 120 hertz. And this game is gorgeous. The night cycle, the lighting, and then also like the courses where you're doing like the Alps, or the snow mountains and stuff like that. You see the condensation on the windshield, and bro, this is insane stuff. Like, Playground has knocked it out of the park on so many levels. The accessibility, any type of setting you want to tweak, you could do that. And then for me right now, the number one thing is the driver tour aspect, because it's like, if you're in my world, it's like, okay, you do something, and then the game, it kind of promotes competition internally with your friend list. Because you'd be like, all right, damn, Sov did that. He found 35 rogue. Whoever's like next ahead of you on your journey of whatever you're accumulating, the game will show you that. And you're like, oh, I got to beat Sov. He couldn't do all these mascots and he could do all these roads that I didn't do. Oh, his speed was faster in this speed track. Oh, no, it's that kind of thing. And then in the open world, you're seeing the drive avatars, of all the people that you know involved in your way. It feels lived in. It feels real. And yeah, man. And last thing, like the music, like I always got this rule, like when a game boots up and if the title screen music is a vibe,
yeah.
To me, it's like a game of the year, automatically. And I like this. I like the Forza Horizon 6 boot up. I want to wake you up. Whatever that Drake be saying, it's a bop. I'm like, oh, like it's crazy. And then the other thing is there's a station, I forgot the name of it, but it's completely Japanese inspired. You get all like very cultural, distinct music. You got your baby metal. You got all this stuff going on. It's a vibe, man. Yeah, for Forza Horizon 6, I just cannot throw enough superlatives at it. It's very addictive. And what I like is you could also play it in bursts. Get a couple things in, dip out, come back the next day. And yeah, man, they've got one. They've got one. Now the question will be, at the Keeleys,
well, if it'll hold that attention for that long. Yeah.
That's going to be the question. And I think if anyone, this is the one to do it. So my gut is, I think they'll get the nomination. I'm not going to say what. I'm going to say they get a nomination. I think, and that would be more than enough for me because this game deserves, it doesn't just deserve to be, oh, it's good for a racer and that, you know what I mean? Like we're past that. This is now the definitive open world racing game. And yeah, man, I can't get enough of it. Absolutely love the game.
Yeah. This game is so fascinating because it's like of course, racing games are extremely popular. Some of them like Gran Turismo 7 or whatever. Everyone knows Gran Turismo, but this is one of the other racing games that I feel like that really kind of gets to the more mainstream attention. Like a lot of people that don't play racing games play this game. Mm-hmm. And I guess my question is just a quick like summary, Cog, of what you think about these Horizon games that resonate so well with people. What makes it so different, I guess, compared to other racing games?
I think it's just you got to understand, like the gearheads who come from the motorsports and the GT, it's very structured, but it's also very intimidating for casual car guys.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then I just got to simplify. Two things to me that makes Horizon the addictive thing that is. One, the ability to go off the road and do what you want and not be structured. Two, if you mess up, rewind feature. Like you put that in the casual's hand, like you messed up the racing line or you crashed into something, bro, hit that rewind. You good. So it takes all, responsibility away. And like now I could just have free flowing fun, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. And again, the game is constantly flashing and giving you incentive and rewarding you all the time. You do, you did a drift. You're drafting someone. You go off road and you see the count. The game will tell you. You're locking the skill change. You're building. So everything you do is almost monetized in a fun way and makes you feel like it's fun. And that's the addictive loop to it. And then the fact that again, it's beautiful. If you love different type of cars, Sov, I didn't even realize they had the Toyota 4Runner, my first
Your first car.
I found
Dude, they have everything, man.
Oh man, like so if you are, even if you're a casual car guy, you'll see a joint that you'd be like, yeah, I got to use this for this race and that kind of thing. And it's just so well done, man. Everything about this game. I want to shout out the day trips though. The day trips to give you regional culture. And for us that we just came from Japan last year, the Lords or ILP, the Road to Tokyo, being there in Akihabara, being there, Shibuya Crossing, being there at Tokyo Tower. These are iconic moments. And the fact that what I like about this, Brad, is this is a global game because you'll see people from the region say that is accurate as hell. And that's a huge deal to me. So that's where they really nailed it.
Cool. Yeah, very nice. Motorsport, is that on ice right now? Do you know? There are what they were known for originally.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't officially say it was on ice, but I mean, the writing seems to be on the wall.
Okay.
You know, we see, obviously, they're using Turn 10's engine, but we do know prior to this, Turn 10 was stripped down as a team, right? They weren't closed, but there were layoffs affected. And the last, when we covered Motorsport, they kind of said it was like an online, remember, the last Motorsport didn't even have a number. It was just like Motorsport, right? So the thought process is almost like remember like what Halo Infinite was supposed to be like? It's just like they're going to supposedly just keep giving you content and kind of thing. But I just think it's a market that is getting smaller. No disrespect to the hardcore simulation racing, there's a place for it, but their side project has outshined the master. Yeah, it's just where it's at right now. So yeah, I don't know if they're going to make one, but right now I don't look good for the future of motorsport, in my opinion. I would be shocked, if maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe, but is the audience there? That's the question. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's good they've kind of taken over this market of arcade racer, because there was a lot of competition, at least in sim racing, of course, like Gran Turismo, and on PC, there's a lot of stuff there as well. So they've kind of found this little space for them that, PlayStation's not doing anything like this.
There's nothing like it.
There's plenty of things on PC, but it's like they have that nice little pocket for themselves right now, which is really smart.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is Sov had mentioned this on LP before, which the possibilities are endless with DLC content, because you could literally, obviously get your night racing and Tokyo stuff, but you could do like maybe hardcore stuff, do Need for Speed kind of things. Obviously, Lego something. I mean, Hot Wheels is something that they always do, as a DLC. But the potential to play with this Japan sandbox and do cool modes that may be separate from traditional Horizon is there, and I'm excited to see what they do with the DLC for this particular game, because that's where I think it's really going to be able to take off and have more legs. So yeah, they've got a lot of potential here.
It's going to be anime, your favorite.
Bro, you could race a Gundam in this game.
Yeah,
bro, the things you're doing, it's insane.
All right. This is on PC and Xbox for now, right? PlayStation sometime down the line, but just for those two right now. So you can check it out there. Very nice. Another game I would like to get to. I definitely want to check it out before the end of the year, though.
Yeah, you got to.
Just do my due diligence there.
It is the type of game, though, you could just, once you get in there, like play a little bit every day or whatever, you can just mess around. Like, you don't really have to worry about, I mean, it's more structured than past ones. So it'll give you that structure if you want it. But if you just want to mess around the open world, you can just do that. And that's, do that for 20 minutes a day and you're good.
Yeah,
it's that kind of
absolutely.
Game. Yeah.
Easy hop in and hop out. I like that. I think it's fun to have a game like that in the rotation. All right, guys, I'm going to throw a curveball at you right now.
Oh, okay.
I've been playing Bubsy 4D. You guys are old enough to remember as well. Bubsy.
We should be playing Bubsy 4D.
I know. Technically, we should be.
Yeah. And just in case anyone doesn't know, Bubsy is kind of like a joke almost of a series where it's just like, I played one on Super Nintendo back in the day, and it was okay, but it was never like great, I would say. And of course, there's Bubsy 3D on PS1, which is just god awful.
Yes.
So over the years, it has just kind of become a meme of something that's like clowned on, but everyone or people kind of have a soft spot for. But Atari has come back with a brand new one. Shout out to our friend Jason Polanski, who's been on the show several times. He actually sent me a code for this game. I think he was a producer on it. So there you go.
He helped present it when I saw he was part of the team that helped present it to us when they made the debut.
Yeah, we saw it in New York. Yeah,
in New York.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jason. That's the homie.
I played some of it, and he's like, "I hope you like it." and I played a couple hours of it, and I would say it's surprisingly decent. I was like, okay, this is a competent game. Like, when I saw this game get announced, I was like, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing here? Why is this coming back? Yeah, exactly. Is this just a meme game like that? And it kind of is a meme, but at the same time, it's extremely competent in some regards. And it's a weird game because it's not like the craziest in-depth game where I could kind of just talk about it for like 20 minutes and go off. It's a very simple game. You are, of course, Bubsy, this little bobcat weirdo in a 3D space doing things, rolling around and jumping and collecting yarn as you do in a Bubsy game. But mechanically, it's very tight. His movement is super well done. Like, if you think about like Mario 64 and stuff like that, that movement, how good it is, why there's still such a huge community of people speedrunning that game, despite how old it is. Bubsy, I'm like, yeah, you guys took a lot of cues from that game. You know, you got the running dive, you got the triple jump, all that good stuff. You can do some crazy tech in this game where I'm like, when I was playing it, I was like, I'm going to be very curious to see people speedrun this game and what they can kind of pull off in it. Not only jumping, diving, climbing stuff, you also turn into a giant ball and rolling around, almost like Super Monkey Ball, going through a bunch of these kind of courses and stuff like that, which I actually think is pretty fun. So from that aspect of the game, very solid. It is a lower budget game, of course. You could tell when you're playing it, some of the mechanics, like some of the boss fights. There's a couple of boss fights that I did where I'm like, whatever, lower budget. It's a $20 game, so it's cheaper, on the cheaper side. And I think it's like, probably casually going through it, I've heard it's like 4 hours. But if you want to do everything, it's probably 5 or 6. So it's on the shorter side, but that could be a blessing or a curse depending on what you're looking for out of a game. Personally, I heard that and I was like, oh, nice. I don't think this game needs to be any longer than that. And I think that's totally good. You get in, you get out. Some games don't need to go on for 20 hours. And I think this is a great example of that. But from what I've played, I'm not going to lie, dudes, kind of had a good time. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Bubsy. You know, we're not talking Mario levels here, anything level design or crazy physics and ideas like that. Nothing's going to blow your socks off, but solid adventure time from what I've played of it. So you guys saw this game a while ago? You guys play it?
We saw it early. We actually, they were, when they were showing it off in New York, it was kind of the reveal. We went to see a couple of different games, and at the end of it, it's like, we have one more thing to show you, and you're not going to believe what it is.
Yes.
Like, oh, it's Bubsy. I'm like, okay, wow. So did we, I don't recall, Cog, did we play that day, or we got a demo afterwards? I think we played that day. I think we did. I played. So everything you talk about, and I did play the final build a little bit. What I noticed is from that preview build, the platforming was all over the place in the preview build. Like it was very, very floaty, very like it would not stick to anything. It was just, again, it wasn't optimized. We were playing a PC demo. It was still it was still at least about a year out or even more. Yeah. So when I threw on the final build and played it, I'm like, okay, yes, to your point, Brad, it feels tight. It feels really tight. And, you know, the transforming into the ball to like go to the like inner tube stuff and whatnot, all that stuff felt great. I was like, okay, they really tightened this up. And, you know, again, shout out to the team at Fabraz. They, you know, I forgot the gentleman who was like, you know, the head of the studio, but he was so excited about like bringing Bubsy back. And to your point, like Brad, taking what they learned from Mario 64, right? After, you know, the kind of debacle that was Bubsy 3D and stuff like that, and bringing back that character in a way that like wasn't comedically ironic. It's like, oh no, there's actually good platforming here. And again, as a smaller title, I think my only real gripe with it is like I wish they gave Bubsy even more personality. Sure. Voice acting, stuff like that. Obviously, a $20 title, maybe that's not in the budget. And they had a little bit of voice acting, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit. But beyond that, and I would have loved a little bit more interactivity with certain aspects of the like the play space. Yeah. Like there's certain things like it looks like you can do stuff with it, and it's not. It's just kind of a platform for you to jump on. When you have the spools of yarn and stuff like that, it would have been great to see them do more with that sort of stuff and kind of add more to Bubsy's repertoire. But as a sort of, you know, kind of by the numbers, tight feeling, gameplay oriented, 3D platformer, it gets the job done. And again, for a character that in many ways, like for us, our childhood, for me, Bubsy in my childhood, it was the game that you would get when, you know, we would rent games from the mom and pop video shop, right? And so the mom and pop video shop, you have to go like on a Thursday early or a Friday early to get the new game releases or the best game releases. Same for the movies. And if you didn't, you got what was left over. And many a time, my mom would not go early to get the games and or the movies. And like, oh, this is what's left for the weekend.
And that's where Bubsy was at.
That's where Bubsy was at. So, my brother and I, we played plenty of Bubsy, and it was, again, fine. It was serviceable when you're young back then. Like, if something kind of sucks or whatever, but you're playing. You're playing video games, whatever. So we have history with Bubsy. So to see it come back, and in 3D, by the time 3D came out, I mean, the conversation around that game was so horrifying. I was like, I'm not even going to bother. I don't even want to ironically see how bad it is. So I never touched it. But in watching video of that game, it's not a great game. So to see like the guys at Fabraz, like their love for that character and bringing it back and to do it justice this way, big shout out to them, because they were really excited to show us this game. Jason was really excited to show us this game. Yeah. And what we saw early was rough, but to see the final product be this polished and again tight, like you said, 4 or 5 hour experience, that's awesome. So I'm definitely going to get back to it. We were supposed to have an interview with them, right before, obviously, Cog's mom going into the hospital and whatnot. We do have a review, right, on Lords of Gaming.
Yeah, we got a review. Yeah, it's up now.
On LordsofGaming.net.
Yeah, shout out to Donna Taco. He actually gave it an 8. He said,
wow.
Yeah, he said, here's his pros. He said, expressive moveset with creative freedom for traversal, sharp character writing and a standout supporting cast, generally addictive speedrunning hooks with ghost races, self-aware revival that simultaneously respects and pokes fun at Bubsy history. However, his cons are platform animations and cutscenes feel clumsy and visually scrambled. Later levels feel disjointed and PS1 era empty. That's what you kind of alluded to. Costume options lack meaningful variety and may feel lacking if you're not into speedrunning. But he enjoyed his time. He enjoyed his time mostly.
Yeah, it's kind of a game where I'm like, I feel like if you do a sequel, you can really improve it a lot. I think this is a decent foundation for whatever the future of Bubsy may be.
But the fact that Bubsy has a future, that's the thing. Like,
it's very surprising.
It's very surprising. And again, sometimes, people bring stuff back that they love and it doesn't get the job done. But shout out to them, because it really does seem like they have something here but you really have to take the time to pay attention to it. In a sea of all these releases, it's very easy for it to get lost. But at $20, it's definitely, if you're someone who loves platformers, waiting on the next Mario, or whatever, Hat in Time is very good. Things like that. Like this is definitely, you could definitely do considerably worse in this game. And shout out to Bubsy, man, for coming back.
Shout out Bubsy. Ding Dong wrote in, said, "Hey, Summon Sign crew. It's nice to see Brad playing games now." That's a jab at me because I didn't bring any games last week. Whatever, man. I'm on the show every week. I can't bring something every time.
Because I don't play games. I just collect them.
I cannot believe I'm writing these words in 2026, but Bubsy 4D is out, and against all cosmic odds, the reviews say it's actually kind of okay. I want to get Brad's take on the game's physics and momentum feel. Does chaining the jumps, glides, and ridiculous new hairball rolling mode actually give it satisfying flow, or is the ghost of Bubsy 3D still lurking in the camera angles? Tell me the truth, Brad. Bubsy's back, baby. Does he finally deserve to stay? I think Bubsy can stay for a while. You've earned yourself a little spot at the table for now. Be careful, though. You're on thin ice, Bubsy. So be careful.
I respect it.
Yeah. But the hairball rolling mode, I actually think is really fun. I love rolling around as that little goofball. That's good stuff. Scott Holdsworth wrote and said, "Yo, Brad and the Lords. I have real fond memories of Bubsy on SNES, but I fired it up last week to show my kids and discovered what everyone has been talking about all these years. The game is gutter trash." Brad, please tell me Bubsy 40 rights all the wrongs after all. What could possibly go wrong? Much love, Scott Holdsworth. P.S. New Middle-earth game. Brad, let's go. We'll get into that later. Fear not. But yes, this is better than the SNES game. That's for sure. So your kids might have a little more fun with this one. All right, gentlemen, it's time for Sort It Out. On this segment, we just talk about something in the games industry we're not too happy with. Could be a game, company, maybe a certain company. Who knows? We'll see what Cog's got cooking, but I'm sure I know what it is. But I'll let you go off first, Cog. What is your sorted out this week?
I know what it is. So I'm going through my depression right now.
Yeah. What stage of grief are you in right now?
Oh, let me see. I did my cries, but I'm still going through it. I'm still going through it because what'll happen is, and for those the listeners, obviously I'm talking about Destiny. I saw it, everyone knows I'm a huge Destiny fan, and obviously they made the announcement this week that they will cease future updates of the game. The game will exist. They're going to do one last update June 9th. And once that news officially hit us, we were like, wow, end of an era. So yeah, I'm still going through. It's like, like someone just died, and then like you'll see a picture or music or some memory, and it'll spark it. You're like, God damn. And then, you got social media with all the Destiny fans, and they're pushing, they're putting up all their, mementos and memories, and you're like, oh my God. So yeah, I'm going through it. Yeah, I'm going through it. So I get, to sort it out, it's like, Sony, what do we want to do here? Because it's clear that this community, I've never seen a community come together to not want something to die better on a game than this. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So it's clear the baby that Sony has chosen is not welcome by the fans. And I like Marathon. Don't get me wrong, Marathon is cool. I'm not one of these Marathon haters, but I get the Destiny fans' frustration that they're like, hey, you got to stop support and then everything go here. So yeah, sort it out, Sony, because there's petitions, there's people, really wanting Destiny 3 to exist. And even now I'm seeing the voice actors are banding together and joining. And they're like, look, yeah, I would like to be employed. They even say this needs to happen, kind of thing. So we'll see. I mean, obviously in this day and age, I'm a realist. Live service is very difficult. Obviously Bungie and their history and the way, I guess, in Sony's defense, may have been felt like they've been sold a bag of goods. Like what Colin calls it, they felt like they bought a lemon. You know what I'm saying?
They got duped.
Right. And in fairness to Sony with the impairment loss, it's easy for me selfishly as a Destiny fan to say, you need to invest into my thing at sunken costs, so what, kind of thing. Because they may be just in shaky grounds completely with the whole live service, debacle that's been going on with PlayStation and allegedly Bungie being an advisor to a lot of this. I don't know what level of culpability they have with that. So I get it. The reality part of me, the realism part of me says, okay, they just may be completely on thin ice with Sony, and Bungie's going to be neutered. I may have to accept that reality. But this kind of groundswell for a game, I have never seen before. And sort it out, Sony, if it's okay to change course at some point. You know what I mean? It's cool. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm curious. So what do you think about, is it more sorted out Bungie than Sony on this end? From what I understand is, and you can correct me because, you're in the trenches with this game. But from what I understand from hearing people talk about Destiny over the years is it's been kind of going downhill for a little while.
Yeah.
And I guess absolutely. Bungie in general themselves, like we said, kind of pulling the wool over Sony's eyes and that purchase and all that kind of stuff.
There's two tales of Bungie here. There's Bungie, the developer, who is the number one servicer of the player. They actually listen and try to get us the features. The problem is Bungie, the stakeholders, and Pete Parsons of the world, with crazy car collections and wanting to basically take their eye off the golden goose, present themselves if they've got all these magical projects to Sony that we're going to make money, Matter, Project Gummy Bears, all this other stuff. And none of those, really kind of came to fruition in the way that they explained it. So to sort it out for Bungie is the stakeholders. They have literally done it to themselves. They've put themselves in this position where now Sony doesn't want to invest in them based on all these, failed projects. So and Destiny not getting the attention it deserves. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one because they pulled. They had their golden goose. It's doing well. They took it for granted. Pulled resources off to do all these other things that nobody really asked for.
Sure,
kind of thing. So yeah.
The biggest annoying thing for me is as someone who really likes Marathon, All these Destiny fans are like, it's your fault. I'm like, what did I do?
Oh yeah, they mad at you, bro. Oh, you the enemy, right?
I'm like, what did I do?
You're like the new kid in the house, and you're getting all the attention, and the older kid is jealous as hell. Like you're the new, you know what the new fan, you know how this all when the new, you know, say the baby's born, and the parent is all with 24/7 with the parent.
That's it. They keep you to the curb.
They don't like. And what's I like Marathon, but it is.
But it's like, you know,
the side eye.
That older sibling was fucking up for years. Ain't my fault.
That's what I'm saying. I agree, Brad. The older sibling gotta go.
Yeah, man. They were in juvie for a while, so it's like they got there themselves. I don't know what it is.
The problem is the older kid parent, you know, dad didn't spend proper time with us. Doing too many things. That's what happened. So we became wayward. We
had like a dad with Destiny 1, then you had a new stepdad with Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now stepdad's made a lot of mistakes, and he's bouncing now.
Yeah, exactly. The man said he was coming back with the milk so long ago. And
going to get some milk.
Next thing you know, I saw a Marathon.
And
that's it.
I agree with you. Destiny 3 kind of seems like the correct course, but I don't know. Like, Bungie's been in a very weird state where they had a lot of autonomy, I feel like, as a company, even when they were owned by first party. So they are in the doghouse big time.
Hell yeah.
PlayStation is not happy with them. And I understand not being happy, but it's like, I know people love Destiny. There's kind of nothing else really like it out there. So hopefully they can get it going for people. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not over yet.
It's not over yet, but the scary part is it's not greenlit.
Right.
And then it's 5 projects that I think that being pitched, and the hope is that it's being pitched. So even if we got it,
it's going to be a while.
2030.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah. I think though, if they just, I will say this: if Sony just, I'll say reverses course because nothing's officially set, said yet. But if they just say, "Hey, we are going to announce it, production will start or whatever," I think that would satiate the base to be like to give them hope that for next generation, a Destiny game could potentially happen, and that could be a win-win. But again, it's a lot of investment. I don't know if Sony wants to do it.
Yeah. Sov, anything for you this year? Anything you think needs sorting out?
I'm kind of angry. I would say sorted out to GTA 6 leakers, data miners, everyone that's trying to get a headline off of something GTA 6 related. Just chill the F out, man. It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. Strauss told you it's coming. Just chill. Because at the end of the day, like people are like, oh, somebody data mined part of the map, and this is there, and this is there. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, what are you? Why? What are you doing? And then when Xbox announces like pre-orders going up or whatever, everyone's like, oh my god, do they have the marketing or do they? What? I'm just tired of it. Look, I understand it's been a long time coming. We've been waiting for this game a very, very long time. All signs point to finally, it's going to hit his November 19th date, right? And I get it, man. Like it's easy clicks, it's easy headlines. People are going to rush to that stuff. But I'm just done because it's nothing substantial. You know why? Because 9 times out of 10, the substantial stuff comes from them. Like we'll get a trailer, we'll get, we'll get a reiteration of the release date. We'll get, what kind of, console packages we get with it for special editions or whatever. Like it's all in good time. But it's just like when one little nugget comes out, everybody has something to say. And all of a sudden everybody knows something. And I'm like, where's this information before? It's just, it's annoying around like this game has, look, it's supposed to be amazing. It should not be anything less than amazing. And shame on them, kind of, if it is less than amazing.
They gonna get it.
How long it took. But at the end of the day, it is coming. Chill. Because a lot of the stuff is nothing burgers. Like a lot of it is nothing burgers. Like if you give me another leak where it's like, here's the gameplay. Oh, I have the trailer. Cool. I don't necessarily want to see it. but cool, good on you. Like you did that work, you did that work.
Yeah.
But everything else, like, it's just annoying. And I'm not really one who really pays attention much to like the social media and what's going on, whatever. But this stuff it just bubbled up to the forefront so much. And I'm just like, listen, man, like, I'm done with it. But Rockstar also sorted it out. Hurry up. Just say something. Like, I know, like I said, Strauss, I was listening to a little bit of their like earnings call, whatever, and everybody that asked about GTA, he sort of sidestepped the conversation. He was like, well, we don't have anything to say about that just yet. Or people asked about GTA Online. It was like, well, I'm not at liberty to talk about anything we haven't talked about yet. We didn't say that there's an online mode, obviously, and stuff like that. So it's a lot of that. But what I can say is this: it does feel like, we're hitting summertime. They don't necessarily have to do anything in the summer because, again, it's Rockstar. They can speak whenever they want to speak, and everyone will listen. But it is coming. We will get more concrete stuff soon, probably in the pretty near future. Just chill, because a lot of the stuff that's bubbling up to the top is just annoying, and it's just like little tidbits, and everybody's like, yeah, I got this, I found this. I'm like, you didn't find anything. This is something that was there like a month ago, and you just you recontextualized it somehow.
Yeah.
So
a lot of fake insiders with that and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm a little miffed with them right now.
Yeah. GTA is such a funny game, especially 6, because it is like the one game that makes people like go feral and almost like primal, I would say, how they act about that game. It's insane.
It is
how people behave about these games. It's crazy.
I don't think anybody thought we'd be waiting like how many years, man? Like 20. Yeah. So it's I understand it. Because people have died waiting for this game. That's the crazy thing. Like there are children who were born that will probably be playing the game. They shouldn't be playing this game when it comes out, but who were not born when GTA 5 came out. They will probably play GTA 6. That's crazy. Like that's insane. But,
yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's see here. Malevolent Creek PTSD wrote and said, greetings, summoners. I'd like to issue a sorted out to Bungie. As with the official end of Destiny 2 on the horizon, there remains a wealth of value or vaulted content, including raids, campaigns, and planets that players can return to or experience for the first time. Is there no way for Bungie to unvault this content for those wishing to experience everything Destiny 2 had to offer now that it's officially done? On a side note, it's great to hear your voice again, Cog, and I hope you're doing well. Thanks for all the fantastic content. All right, we got a few people writing in about Bungie, just buckle up.
Yeah, much love. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and the hope is that with, even though they said this is a final update in Pantheon, which is dope, which is kind of like a combination of all the raid content going back to back, almost like a boss challenge, like like a boss rush, like super dope. They've never done that before, but I would love, in this final stage, unvault the Red War campaign. Allow people like Saul, people like Maddie to say, hey, I want to know what the whole history of Destiny was from the start to beginning. Play it like a story, the way we initially ingested it. And I think that's a big start to do that. Just put it in a portal. Like, I don't know why it's so difficult. Like, just play it like a campaign. Forget all the seasonal stuff. If they do that, that would do well for them, for people to actually, come back to the game. I mean, people are going to listen. People are going to turn up June 9th. I'm going to let y'all know right now. People are about to go in. But I think for any person who wants to get closer to the franchise that was disconnected or just didn't understand it, they need to add that mode. I agree.
Yep. Brandon Stark wrote and said, hello, Brad, Lord Cog, and Lord Sov. I'd like to give a firm sorted out to Bungie. Destiny 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, but I can't get the hang of Marathon at all. D2 had so much variety, weekend raids with a group of buddies, plenty of weeklies to run solo or in smaller groups, and satisfying drip feed weekly seasonal story quests. We had the perfect ending, yet it was dragged along for another 2 years when we could have put more resources towards something more meaningful. Where is D3 or the next main thing from Bungie? Things feel bleak as a Bungie fan these days. I'm not wishing Marathon to fail, nor am I celebrating D2's end of life. I just want them to see major success again for the team. Thanks for reading and have a great week. Got to throw in those marathon jabs, don't you?
Look, I'll say something to make you happy, Brad. I think Destiny fans do got to chill with wanting the death of Marathon, because the death of Marathon, to me, it just speed runs Bungie's death.
Yeah, that doesn't mean like they're going to immediately greenlight D3 if Marathon dies.
Exactly. And that's where people got to chill out. And there's a lot of people that I know from the internal teams that was moved over from Destiny. Now I know I get to tell, I'm like, wow, this person that was a community manager is now, running the Marathon team. But yeah, support Marathon, man. And then they're doing a PvE mode, which I actually am curious because they have to casualize it on some level.
They do. Yeah. It's a very hardcore, sweaty game as someone who's played a lot of it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Let's see here. Ken Glizzy Jr.
So Ken Glizzy Jr. Yo, that's
one of the greatest glizzy eaters of all time. Ken Glizzy Jr.
That's wild right there. Wow.
Sorted out Bungie and Sony. Bungie, you became the ultimate Destiny killer. Your poor management, bad writing, virtue signaling, spaghetti code, and bad servers helped kill Destiny. You gambled that a niche genre such as an extraction shooter would be a huge hit. What made it so neat in The Division that it was a purely optional? Your gamble hasn't paid off. Sony, it's time to go clean house. Hire me for $500K a year as chief creative officer, and I'll get it straightened out. I'll even keep you out of trouble in a marathon when your Marvel dialogue wants to rear its ugly head. There is no Marvel dialogue marathon, thank God, so far. I've got 5,000 hours in Destiny 2, and I'm currently playing Destiny 1 almost daily. I quit D2 when I got weaseled during the final cutscene of the final shape. I don't know what that means.
That's a real thing. That was a launch day. A launch week server issue, and some people couldn't see the final cutscene. I remember, for me, I did. Yeah. I couldn't see the very final one because there was a cool after you beat it, I saw the ending of the game, but then there's this cool screen that is a remembrance thing I never knew existed until someone had to tell me, because I got weaseled out because the servers were spaghetti at that time.
Sucks.
Yeah. Launch week on new expansions is always rough. But that is a real thing, what he is saying, Mr. Glissy.
That's horrible.
Sorry for the rant, but it's comical how you've screwed this up. Thanks, Brad and the Iron Lords. Yep.
Not much more to say. So I think he kind of admits what you feel. He ain't say too many lies. He told a lot of truths.
A lot of truths there.
All right, boys. Let's do the exact opposite. Stuff we're pleased with in gaming for Keep It Up. I got one right off the bat, Cog. I'm sure you can relate to this. War Studio.
Oh, we're all on the same page.
Yes. Junior projects. One will be a New Kingdom Come Deliverance game or something like that along those lines. But for me, of course, Middle Earth game. Dream come true. Right there. Very excited about this. The potential, there's so much there. I became a believer when KCD2 came out last year. Played it. Loved it. We had a spoiler cast on that with you, me, Micah, and Lockmort. That was a lot of fun, and I loved that game. So I'm really excited to see how they're going to take on Middle Earth. Always gush for me.
Get soft, good. What you
dude? I remember playing the original KCD, and and saying, "Oh my God, it's Skyrim, but it's real." It's whoa, and just the attention to detail and the minutia. I'm a person that I like the gamification of mundane things. I love digging in drawers in Red Dead Redemption 2 and stuff like that, dumb little things. But games that focus on that, to me, just give you this experience that no other thing can do. And Warhost kind of outdid Bethesda in that regard. Obviously, with the first KCD, it still had a little ways to go, but KCD 2 just took that to a completely different level. And then you couple that with the storytelling, and just that game was beautiful across every platform that I played it on. It was really a special game, and you knew that they were kind of shooting on all cylinders there. So for them but I also did feel that game did not get the shine that it deserved in the shadow of like Expedition, right?
Yeah.
But now you give them Middle Earth with the pedigree that they have already. This is their true moment to shine, I think. As great as KCD is, and I love the fact that we're getting more KCD, you know, sometimes teams like this that are kind of fly under the radar for whatever reason, they need that, you know, that property, that big bump, like, oh, these guys are getting this to get, you know, to get the shine that they deserve. So for me, like, so excited to see what they do with a Middle Earth game, how they approach it. Do they sort of focus on known stories and characters, or do they deviate from that and go deep into Tolkien's lore and sort of figure out a story within that and kind of have all the events of the books and whatnot happening around them? It's exciting to have a team that is this focused on detail to be at the helm of a game like this. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Sov, you cooking, bro. Like that's about my mindset. I think what's only holding Warhorse back is that, you know, mainstream kind of IP or license to get the masses to believe. The only weakness to KCD2 is that, okay, it's this very specific, realistic, grounded part of history. And if you're not a fan of that historical time period, I can see you get disconnected, right? But it's clear as day when it comes to the RPGing right now in gaming, they're the guys outside of like Larian. There's only a few now that I feel has pushed the RPG genre to the forefront, and now they're the leaders. You know what I mean? Like me and Maddie's had these conversations as far as like, you know, who's lapped who, right? And it's like, bro, Warhorse is them dudes. Like, you know, we covered this, you know, I'm proud of Sov. Like one of our highest performing videos was us covering KCD1. Shout out to them. Shout out to
DLC,
Toby. DLC, The Woman's Lot.
Yeah.
It reigned on our channel for so long because people wanted to know about it. And we're looking at this game that was, like Sov said, was realistic Skyrim that punched above its weight. You had to eat, you had to sleep, you had to do all this stuff. The perk system, just everything just gushing realism. And then to see two with the glow up. Now we see them with a glow up with the engine and now more of a budget. And you're like, okay, they do it. You put Middle Earth and whatever story. And then here's the thing too, the fantasy aspect of that's the only thing. Like there's no magic in KCD. There's no, right. What was Warhorse going to do when you let them go balls to the wall with fantasy and their RPGing? Look, man, this could be the step out moment. This could be the step out moment. I'm pulling for and then for the KCD fans who worry, yo, you're still getting another one. You know what I mean? And whatever story, maybe Henry's story will continue. But yeah, man, I'm excited. When I saw this, I was like, oh, you bastard, you kept this one. You've been sitting in the tuck with this one. All right. You know what I mean? I hit the community match. I was like, Toby.
We see you in Cologne. We're going to talk.
We will be seeing you at Gigs Con because we got to talk about this, bro. I am a huge fan. And the last thing I'll say is like, for us, especially me and Sov, it's proud dad energy.
Yeah.
We've seen them, you know, it's like when you see them with KCD1 and no one, there's a Kickstarter, no one really knows who they are. It's like they'll try to pump their little mixtape to you like, hey, listen, check it out. We're like, yo, you got something here. This is special. And now to see them become, you know, this big thing that they are. I am so proud of Warhorse. You have no idea.
Yeah, I'm very excited because not only did KCD2 do very well critically and financially, this is Middle Earth now, so their budget is going to be probably much higher compared to KCD2. So I'm very curious to see improvements they'll do. I wonder if it'll be first person or if it'll be third person. I'm curious what approach they'll take.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
But it's very exciting news regardless. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, that makes complete sense.
Perfect.
One of those matchups.
Perfect studio. Yep. Perfect match.
All right. MT0 wrote and said, great crew this week and happy to see you back, Cog. Hope all is well. Brad, I wrote in a few weeks ago, being on the fence about starting Final Fantasy XIV, ultimately jumped in. I'm now into Heaven's Award, sorted out Brad and Gene for getting me addicted and expecting a nagging right into you, and Dustin about the Ellison Free Company as we get closer to what I assume will be a lot of people returning for Evercold. P.S. Cog, what are you pouring out for Destiny 2? I would love a few words on this. We did talk about it a little bit. What are you pouring out for it, though?
every alcoholic beverage that you have in the house. Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. I am going through it, but I think we're all going through it together as a community, and it's been helpful. So that we all like, bro, I know I'm going through it because I was going through like my old pictures of like one of my my Google Drives, and I had stuff from like 2016, 2017 that I forgot. I literally, Brad, I found the PlayStation. I don't know if I saw on my socials. I'll put the Destiny 1 Alpha.
I'll find it.
Me signing up and say you got selected for the Destiny 1 Alpha on PlayStation because it was PlayStation exclusive, the Alpha. The beta then came to Xbox and everyone else. But I was like, yo, I even had my old PSN gamer tag before I changed it. I used to be Cognito 360 before I was Lord Cognito. I was like, oh, yo, yeah, definitely I was on my 360 fanboyness at that point, clearly. But but now, bro, I was super hyped to see that I kept that. I was so excited to play like whatever the makers of Halo, their new game, to see what's going on. So yeah, we going through it. We're pouring it out.
Listen, even me, man. It's funny. My quote is always like, I don't give a rat's ass about Destiny. Like anytime, it was funny. We would talk about, we'd have conversations about like the new expansion or whatever, right? And I would play a little bit to sort of act like I knew what I was talking about, and I'd talk for like 5 minutes straight, like kind of. I'm like, wow. And Cog would be like, yeah, oh, wow, you really played. You really got it in deep. And so like 5 minutes in, I would just be like, yeah, and all of this is to say I don't give a shit about this thing. Saul
hated Destiny. Like, he never could.
Yeah, I never did. But the thing is, like, Iron Lords don't exist without Destiny. Like, they don't at all, right? The Cog started podcasting with Addict and a couple of other guys. Obviously, Sleet and
Sleet. Yeah,
because of their love for Destiny. That's where the Iron Lord stuff came from, and then it just transitioned into what you have today. But yeah, so Destiny's a special game. I cannot take away what type of community formed around that game. When you have cons around the game that's only a year, a couple years old, that's kind of insane, right? So yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad to see. Obviously, it had its run, right? I think Destiny was originally supposed to be a 10-year project, and they kind of achieved that. It just kind of feels like when it comes to that, I think they painted themselves into a bit of a corner. Whereas now, yes, should they be doing Destiny 3? Yes. Is Marathon perhaps too hardcore for the masses? Yes. So, and then the overlords of Sony probably going to tell you like, well, okay, Destiny 3 does feel like the move. And if we're going to be honest, it does probably feel like it is our best shot at being successful with a live service game, but it's going to take too long and cost way too much money to do it. So,
well, yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you got Break-In or /Fair Games coming out still,
right? Is it
for some reason?
Right? Yeah,
you own that studio for some reason.
Yeah, and Hunter's Gathering.
Right?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know how those are going to
uphill battles on a lot of those games. That's
very much uphill battles. So again, it does look like a Destiny 3 would be their best bet to have some success in the space. But are they willing to wait, and are they willing to spend that cash?
Cog, I'm a big Blizzard guy and stuff like that. So when I saw the Destinies originally from Bungie, they're like, yeah, we're ending Destiny 2, we're going to move away, but the franchise will continue kind of thing. Before we knew more about it, I was like, man, I wish World of Warcraft would do that shit. Just move on.
I've been done with that.
They. I mean, Warcraft, you got to give it to them, man. I was there day one. I played for about 20 hours, and I said, no, I cannot do this, or else I will be a bum in the streets with no life, unshaven. Like I already knew. It's what's funny, Brad. I was excited way back when they announced EverQuest Next, and I remember they showed like graphics with like what it would look like, and I was like, oh man, like they're going for it. They're really gonna put the other stuff to bed and move forward, and then they decided not to do that. So I don't know. It's a tough thing for a lot of these MMOs to sort of say, hey, we're gonna do a hard reset and hope that the player base follows us. But I think for the most part they will. It's a leap you have to take, a leap of faith you have to take. But I get it, man.
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Florida Man wrote in and said, hey, Cog, just hoping you're doing all right. We've missed you and hope everything is fine. I want to keep it up to Double Fine. I had a pretty traumatic week before the loss of a pet and a friend getting in a bad accident. I needed something that would lift my spirits. Well, here comes a little game called Keeper, which is probably the most beautiful game I've played since Journey. Emotional, deep, and different. Thanks, y'all. It's a Double Fine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that is Double Fine. The Keeper. Salute the Florida man. Appreciate the love. Yeah, very, very unique game. I couldn't get into it as much. I tried. It's a little too quirky for me, but I can't take away from its uniqueness. That damn light tower and figuring things out, and then the puzzle mechanics. It gets. I will say it gets better as you go on, and the synergy between the tower and the bird and the things you can do together. It especially if you like cool puzzle stuff. It's fun.
Yeah. Is down with the sickness breakdown outsider art wrote in, said, gentlemen, I like to give an enthusiastic keep it up to Steam for 2 reasons. The Steam controller rocks so much I can hardly put it into words, but I merely want to draw some attention to Steam input. Fellas, if you want to continue to call yourselves a capital G PC gamer, I don't want to. You can't be sleeping on Steam input. I ain't getting on that level, dude. We're doing capital G gamer.
I'm not a Steam weirdo though. Okay, I'm not. I'm not.
The ability to bind every little country's inputs to whatever keyboard or mouse command is staggering. It's allowed me to not only play OG Doom 3 on the Steam Deck, a game that does not have any controller support, but through extra tinkering, I was able to create custom radial weapon wheel bound to one of the trackpads, complete with little icons that would display themselves on screen when the wheel was up. Doom 3 also does not natively have a weapon wheel. All this to say, even if you don't get as crazy as I did with it, Steam input is awesome, and you should check it out if you haven't. It might save you a headache in an older game piece. Yeah, Steam has a lot of great support in that front. I don't have a Steam controller yet. I do want to get one, though. I think I'll finally jump on. If I'm playing on PC, though, I rarely play with a controller, so it's not as big of a priority for me. I'm a mouse and keyboard guy for most things. But like a third-person action game, like a Souls-like, yeah, I'll definitely use controller for that, but FPS on controller, dude? Hell no.
I play everything on controller.
I know a lot of people do.
Even on PC, like I have my PC connected to my TV and I sit on my couch and I play my
sure, you play it like a console.
I play like a console. Yeah. So I have mine pre-ordered. They finally allowed you to sort of just pre-order it and put it in the tuck for when they have it and then they'll send it out. So I'm excited to get it. Again, I have a lot of games on Steam, but I'm not sort of exclusive to Steam. I kind of go wherever. So and I heard that outside of Steam, it's kind of a pain in the ass to use. But yeah, in terms of quality and stuff like that, if I had another sorted out, it would probably be to everybody making like a premium controller that's not a Steam controller. Because man, this Xbox Elite controller has me ready to chuck it at the wall, man.
Oh no!
So I never opened my Halo Infinite controller. I had it in the box, the green one, like Halo Infinite. I had it in the box. I was like, I'm just keeping the box, whatever. I have my other one. So my other one, obviously, like all of these damn controllers, the rubber starts coming off the sides. I was like, all right.
Build quality so bad.
Yeah, and so then I decided to, I said, and the box kind of got messed up too for the Green Elite controller, the Halo one. So I said, whatever, I'm going to open it. I open it up. The rubber is like, it's brittle already and coming off, like in the box.
Wow.
And I'm just like, no, man, I can't. For a controller that's like $200. And that was more. I think that was more because it was special Halo Infinite thing. So looking at the Steam controller for $100 and kind of the feel of it and how it looks and what it can do. Yeah, I'm excited for that type of controller. And for me to be able to sit down on my couch and just not worry about pulling out a mouse and keyboard to just navigate the UI before I get to a game. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Hope to get it soon. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Let's do Let's Be Friends. This segment, if you're looking for someone to play a game with, or just someone to look at their trophies or achievements, this is the segment for you. This is LSM, so we always have unfortunate name write-ins. So you're gonna have to deal with this, Sov.
No, I've heard this before. This is
yes. Gene's cum-stained Xbox Helix shirt.
Yo.
Yep, those are Gene's quotes. He said he did that on his shirt. So there you
go.
Hello, Brad, Cog, and Sov. I hope you're all doing well. Before I start, I just want to say I'm sending my deepest sympathies and blessings to Cog and Mama Cog. Secondly, I am looking for people to play Helldivers 2 with Illuminite encroaching on Super Earth territory. We need all divers we can find. My PSN is Brony Bands, BRONNY BANDZ, and my Discord name is the same. So yeah, if you're looking for someone to play Helldivers with, hit Brony Bands up.
Nice.
All right. Sov, I'm really curious about this one.
Yeah.
I almost picked this up because I do host Punching Up Our Nintendo show, but I was like, there's just too much stuff right now for me to jump in on this, especially because Micah, my co-host, will be playing it so she can cover it on that end. But I'm curious. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Talk to me.
So it's another franchise that I'm a bit of a fraud on, and that I'm coming on to Summertime to talk about two games and franchises I really don't play.
No, that's good. It's good perspective. I like that.
But for me, I try to get everything that's kind of exclusive to Nintendo Switch, all of their first party stuff I try to get. So yeah, I got Crafted World. I got Woolly World. I played them both maybe 2-3 hours each and just kind of fell off of them because if they felt it's me constantly looking for that Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, and not understanding that Nintendo's like, no, you're not getting that anymore. That's not what Yoshi's about. So going into this game, I kind of knew that, but this is different. So Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is different in that it's not a straight up left to right sort of platformer game. It is more about exploring a play space that you can move back and forth through. And then discovering a bunch of different like animals and creatures within this world, and basically documenting this inside the book, the Mysterious Book, which is a living book with a mustache, and it's called Mr. Encyclopedia, so you call him Mr. E.
That's right.
So basically, he has never been able to look at at all of the different sort of discoveries and creatures and stuff that he has in his own book. So long story short, I won't get into the introductory sort of thing, but he finds his way into Yoshi's Island, and the Yoshis are then tasked with going into the pages of his book in order to sort of identify and discover these different types of species of animals and quirky little things that are in the pages of his book in order to identify them, right? And within that, once you identify them and how you react to them, then it becomes it gives you ways to traverse each different world. So for instance, the first world is like the Wildwood. Like you go in and it's like, oh, there's a smile flower, right? So Yoshi eats the smile flower. If he eats the smile flower, he then lays an egg, and then that egg can be used to toss at different things throughout the world. So let's say you could toss the egg at another wildflower, and then when you do that, you get a certain reaction. Oh, this happens when I do this, and that gets documented in the book. And so that is kind of the crux of the entire gameplay, where you're finding these things in the world. You're seeing how Yoshi interacts with it in different ways. You're seeing how, what happens when Yoshi eats it? What happens when Yoshi jumps on it? What happened when Yoshi, throws something else at a different species or whatnot? And as you do these different things, it documents what happens. And it's all kind of scribbled into the book. And so then as you learn these things, then you utilize those skills that you learned and these things that you learn about what characteristics these things have in order to traverse the world. And ultimately what you're trying to do is to save the smile flowers and collect all of the smile flowers. And so it's more focused on that part of it, of the learning part about it, and figuring out the quirks of these things that you discover within the pages of the book, and less focus on platforming. And Yoshi platforming has never been necessarily, deep or difficult, apart from, Yoshi's Island. So I didn't expect it to be robust in that sense, but I was kind of taken by surprise that it was more about the exploration, and that the things that you learn about these species and whatnot were not used in a deeper way in order to give me more satisfying platforming within the worlds. I'm only like 2 worlds in. And again, the game is beautiful. It has a very painterly storybook sort of art style. It animates in such a way that it kind of it makes it seem like stop motion a little bit. I'm playing it in handheld mode. I haven't put it on the TV yet. In handheld mode, it feels even a little bit more choppy because we know that the screen on the Switch 2 isn't the greatest in terms of like refresh rate and stuff like that. So for whatever reason, it feels ever so slightly more choppy. But it is a gorgeous game. It is a very chill type of game. But it feels like once you figure out, like you'll go back into stages multiple times to go back. Let's say you leave the stage and there's a certain interaction that you didn't find or you didn't figure out. Like Mystery will be like, hey, if you do this or this, you do this, maybe this will happen or something like that. It kind of hints you, pushes you in the right direction in terms of finishing out all the things on a certain page of his book. And then once you do that, though, it kind of feels like there's nothing left in the stage to go back to. There aren't any sort of like difficulties. There aren't any sort of like speedrun things or difficulty things that allow you to kind of go back to certain play spaces and get something new out of them. They feel kind of like one shot once you get everything there. And I don't think you can necessarily do it in your first go through. If it feels like you find certain things maybe in later stages that you can come back and utilize in an earlier stage. So it is, I don't think it's going to be for everybody. I guess I was underwhelmed by the fact that it wasn't more of a platformer. Like I went in acknowledging that I don't really play these games, but I'm like, oh, a cool Yoshi platformer would be great. But it is less about that and more about the exploration. And as a chill sort of game, just looking around this very beautiful world that does not feel super populated, it's cool, but it is something that kind of wears thin kind of quick. It is gorgeous. The boss characters are like big and beautiful, super well animated. The art direction is chef's kiss, absolutely beautiful. I just kind of, for finally jumping into a Yoshi game, like I'm going to play this, I wanted more of a straight up platformer, and that's not what I got. But what is there, I think for somebody who just wants to kind of sit on the couch and just go around this world and find what, how Yoshi reacts differently to these different species and what you do when you eat them and you turn them into the egg and chuck them or feed them like hot peppers and things like that, all kinds of different weird things you can do. That stuff is all very interesting. I just wish that it was that, and then that led into utilizing all the things you learned into interesting platforming, which it kind of doesn't feel like it is. It feels sort of mundane, at least early on. Said I'm only like a stage and a half, 2 stages in. So that's kind of what it feels like. I'm going to keep playing it. But again, I got 007 right around the corner. So something's going to have to give. And I don't necessarily see it being Lego Batman. So yeah, I may put this on the back burner and I'll come back to it. But it is... it's not bad. It's just, I was excited to play a straight up platformer, and it really isn't that. But what they do have there, I think if they were to expand upon it and really give you worlds that took advantage of the things you learned from these different creatures, I think they'd have a super winning formula. So maybe later on in the game, you do get sort of that perfect mix that I'm looking for. But early on, it doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah. Do you think it still skews, or it sounds like it still skews for younger maybe gamers and stuff like that, or a good game for them?
I think obviously aesthetically it absolutely does. In terms of, like I said, the platforming doesn't seem super deep or difficult. So in that regard, I think it does. So I think, yeah, it presents that way. I don't know if my nephew's 13, he's not going to play this game. I don't know if a younger kid would, be bored with it after a little bit. Because again, or frustrated with it because they kind of just want a platform and jump and stuff like that and don't really care about, trying to do weird stuff with these different species to figure out, different things that can happen in the world depending on how Yoshi, interacts with them. So it's like maybe I can see maybe a younger kid getting bored with that, or maybe even a little frustrated with that aspect of it. So,
okay. The Streets #1 draft pick wrote and said, "What's up, Summon Lords? What are your thoughts on Yoshi and the Mysterious Book? I have not played the game, but I watched a YouTuber complain about Nintendo's marketing. It seems like they only want toddlers to play this game when there is much more to the gameplay and exploration than was shown. Is Nintendo returning to their cringe Wii U roots when it comes to marketing?" In terms of marketing, I haven't seen everything, but they're treating it like a Yoshi game, I should say, in terms of marketing. It's not going to get the spotlight that like a Zelda game would, or a Mario, or even a Donkey Kong game would get like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to get a smaller piece of the marketing budget, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they put out this game. They expect it for a certain market. So to that end, they're not going to put all that money in to sort of sell it to someone else. They know full well they have a lot of, man children. Where,
say it correctly.
They have man children.
That's not true. That's not true.
Children that still, they love Yoshi and they're going to try it out. But I think again, you haven't gotten a Yoshi game that feels like it's for a more seasoned gamer since Yoshi's Island. Really, you just haven't. I think it's to expect it to be anything more than something that's geared towards kids. I think it's unrealistic, considering the last bunch of Yoshi games you've gotten. So,
yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to our next game, which is Echo Generations 2. Cog, you were excited to talk about this.
Yes, this is the game. I got to shout out to Attic on this one, man. I didn't know about Echo Generation. He's the one that put me onto it. And turn-based game was the first one. And the second one now is like this 80s Stranger Things pixel art turn-based deck builder. So they've gone more, I would say if you're a fan of Midnight Suns, you're going to like this game. And it's, Brad, this game is a vibe to me. Like, I just love everything about it. Only nitpick will be that I wish that, it had voice to it, because like the game starts off like these Stranger Things kind of kids trapped in a lab where people doing these experiments on them, and they apparently have powers or whatever. So they're trapped, and then you kind of break out. And the dialogue is hilarious. Like the soldiers are coming out, "What the hell, you kids going? Get back in there! They got guns!" Like it's wild. Like it's just the way the game starts is absolutely hilarious. And again, it's just. It's pixel art. It's there's two modes. It's the actual exploration mode where you move around the levels, and then there's the actual when you get into the fights, and it's turn based. But it is really, really done well, to the point where you have your traditional, obviously you get cards in the world. The game showers you with stuff all the time. You walking around in the exploration, you'll find cards, you'll find abilities, and then from there you then construct your deck. The amount of love and attention that I think the studio's name is Coco Cucumber has put into not only the art style, the animation of the cards, the abilities, and then the depth to it. You'll have attacks, and then you'll have like, this will do burn damage, this will do radiant damage. You can also use defensive cards to, put up shields and stuff like with your abilities and stuff like that. And it's also good for a person who's a turn-based veteran, because this game is challenging. This game is very, like, the boss encounters are amazing. You know what I mean? And they really test you, where you have to look and think about every single thing. And then the other thing that I love about it is that they have a badge system, so you can kind of lean into play styles. So I know, Brad, you've talked in the past of like, I like mid-maxing, I like build craft. If you have those things in your repertoire that it satiates that, you're gonna love this game, man. So yeah, I would say that the music is dope. It's a cool vibe, very synth. It's 80s, you know what I'm saying? Kind of energy. I love this game. I'm only like a couple levels in, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this game has so much more depth than I thought it was, and it's addicting, man. So yeah, Echo Generation, man, I absolutely love this thing. We'll see, where it goes. There's also like there's like a card upgrade system. So if you get like, basically what happens is then the game starts showering. Now you got to make tough decisions with like a 16 card deck that can be rolled in rotation consistently. But what I like about it is now you got to, okay, which are the ones that are going to be the most effective for certain situations? And it really becomes a challenge. It really becomes, picking and choosing. Also, some enemies have shields you have to work and deal with. Oh, what you'll like too is what I consider reactive turn-based, not to the level of Expedition 33, but like when the bosses go or the enemies go, you have a window to try to defend yourself. And if you miss that window, they'll do more damage to you. So they're learning from Expedition where the turn-based, where it's like if you do things to encourage the user to interact with the game, you're just not sitting there being stationary and stuff like that. And I do like that aspect of the game. But yeah, man, I don't even know what to say. It's so good, man. I'm loving this thing. And it's a beautiful game. Yeah. Really want to shout them out. Coco, you got me. We'll see how it goes. I just want to know where the narrative goes. And they've got all 80s references. You got Back to the Future. You got DeLoreans. You got Stranger Things. You got all types of stuff packed in this one game.
Does this have roguelite elements in it? And I know it's a deck game, like a deck RPG.
Not really. They have, I know the game, let me say this. The game when you starts off, you may be right, because when you starts off, it acts as if you could pick different all the chapters. It lays out all the chapters and certain characters. Oh, okay. But if you try to start and like pick someone else, it didn't allow me to. It said, hey, you got to start here at the beginning. So I think it may develop into something, but I don't know if I would say full rogue-like just yet. Okay. Maybe some slight little elements potentially.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a very competent deck building RPG. So this is going to be on Game Pass. Is that correct?
Yes, this is a Game Pass joint. And they've been promoting it pretty well. Actually, I got a chance to check it out. What was it, a couple months ago? I saw it and I was like, wow, what is that? That game looks really, really good, striking visually, kind of thing. But I didn't realize how much depth it had with the play styles and the things that you can do in the game. So yeah.
Sov, does this seem like something you'd be interested in?
No, I mean, for me, it's like I have to limit the amount of RPGs that I play right now. Sure. I have a whole lot of half-eaten sandwiches out in the world, and another RPG just would not work for me. I never played the first one, although I know it's kind of beloved. So, but yeah, aesthetically, it's something that's right up my alley, and story-wise, although Attic had some different.
Attic has some strong take because he's a fan of the first one, and from my understanding, obviously the first one didn't have any deck building. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's more traditional. They have made the change, so they kind of like appeasing me with what the choice that they do, but with him. But he had, to Saul's point, issues narratively as the game goes on. So I got to see where it goes because he's like invested in this story from the first game.
Okay. All right, final games we're going to talk about are 007, Bloodstone, and GoldenEye, because you're very excited, Saw, for First Light coming out very soon. I have not played Bloodstone, but I have played a shit ton of GoldenEye back in the day. Love that game. All right.
So in my excitement for First Light coming out and seeing what IO does with that franchise, I was like, I need a James Bond fix, man. I do. And I'm like, all right, I got to go back to the 360 right? And so I have my 360, my Modern Warfare 360 in the trunk over there. I'm like, let me go to Macari and see what I could pick up. Because again, I don't have any more physical games. So I went to Macari, got Bloodstone for a couple of bucks, and got GoldenEye Reloaded for a couple of bucks. Both games that I played back in the day. At least briefly. I don't think I didn't beat either one of them, but which is par for the course for me. but yeah, so to start out with Reloaded, right? Reloaded was initially released on the Wii the year before it came, I think, to 360. It was like, oh my God, they're doing a GoldenEye remake or whatnot. And it was, I didn't really play it there. I think people thought it was decent, but then it came out later, like with upgraded graphics to the 360 and whatnot. And that's the one where I was like, let me play this. And I'll be honest with you, like going into it, I thought, hey, it's going to be kind of a verbatim moment for moment, shot for shot sort of remake, and it isn't. This game was developed by Eurocom, and they really sort of have their own take on it. Like the main moments and stuff, the big points of the story are there, but they kind of took a lot of agency and liberty with how they told the story and changed up a lot of stuff. And to some people's chagrin, right? A lot of people thought it was cool. They loved to see like the updated graphics. They loved to see the story kind of in a more cinematic way than obviously was possible in N64. But I mean, I think what you get with that original one is like an ability to sort of play it like a sandbox a little bit, where this one, I think they took a lot of cues from Call of Duty, and they kind of, a lot of corridor shooting, a lot of bombastic gunfights, that it kind of dumbed down that aspect of it, whereas like you can approach situations a little bit differently from moment to moment, and can create some kind of cool moments. Where here, because of the upgrades and because of kind of the more Call of Duty-esque corridor shooting, it kind of limited that a little bit. But I still enjoyed it. I really thought it was really cool. And to see the glow up the game got, and to really like stop for a moment and look at it like, damn, this is pretty nice. Thinking back on it now, it was one of the first remakes that I remember being like, wow, they really did this up, right? They really did. Another thing that was cool about it is that they had the MI6, the ops missions. So like for people like who wanted more beyond the story, there was these sort of smaller, like objective based sort of things that I think you play them cooperatively. Oh no, it's solo. Sorry, solo. And that was cool too, just as an addition to like what is generally not that long of a campaign. Although again, because of the liberties they took with the story and things that they changed, it does feel like it's a longer campaign than the N64 original. So it was really cool to go back to. Like I only played maybe like two and a half hours of it, but getting my fix though. If I have more time today, I'll play it before I load up First Light to hopefully play tomorrow, early access. And then Bloodstone was a game that it was like, okay, it's actually shout out to Bizarre Creations, rest in peace, Project Gotham guys kind of stretching their legs a little bit. And this is more of a cinematic, like third person shooter, like something, in the vein of like an Uncharted, but definitely not as polished.
Right.
And it's really good. Like, it's really good for me. It gave me the fix that I needed, because this game, there's a lot of cover shooting involved. The shooting isn't necessarily the most precise. Like sometimes you just let off on a character and the reticle's kind of all over the place. But what I love about it is that it gives me a little bit of that John Wick feeling. Like you can the melee stuff is really cool because you incapacitate like NPCs like you can take them down hard. Like you run up on guys, blast them up against walls. Kind of, it's funny, like thinking about First Light and kind of the melee stuff they showed there with a lot of the pushing into like barriers and walls and stuff like that. I feel like this did a little bit of that, but these feel like they're more pre-canned. But either way, depending on what direction you approach an enemy from is going to determine like the animation that you get for taking them down. So you can shoot a guy a couple of times, stun him a little bit, or shoot him in the head and kill him, and then run up on him, hit him with some melee, take cover. So that cadence of gameplay is very fun. And in this game, like very competent. Then you, on top of that, you put like, I think like Judi Dench and both Daniel Craig are doing the voiceovers for the game, so it gives it that that air of authenticity. It's just from what I've seen so far, it has a lot of sort of big sort of set piece moments as well, kind of very definitive Bond. What I've seen so far that I don't like, and I hope First Light kind of rectifies, is that it's much like the Bond movies, right? Craig's Bond movies. It kind of steps away from the gadget aspect of Bond, where I think you need a good balance of both, right? He needs to be lethal. He needs to be lethal. But I think the Craig movies lean so much into the realism that the gadgets that he used were kind of cool in the moment, but nothing really stood out like older movies, like the Pierce Brosnan movies and things like that.
Right.
So I think Bloodstone is a cool third person action game. I think it gives me these short bursts of John Wick like action that I kind of was looking for, getting ready for like First Light. So I'm glad I picked it up. I'm definitely going to finish it because it doesn't seem like it's a long game. But I like it. I mean, and it's Bizarre kind of stretching their legs a little bit, it was just cool to play a game from Bizarre. I didn't realize that until after I popped it in. I was like, oh man, like PGR. I love me some PGR. So it's overall, it's kind of generic. It feels like very much a 360 era game, but that's exactly kind of what I was looking for. And it really hit the spot. So yeah, I'm excited to finish it because I never finished it back in the day. I think I got about as far in it back in the day as I am now. So,
yeah.
So if I have time, I'll play more of it today for sure.
Nice. Cog, any history with any of these games?
Not too much. Surprisingly, like, I don't know what happened with me where GoldenEye was kind of like, I remember playing it, but I don't remember being like entrenched, and I don't know what. I'm trying to figure out what distracted me during that time period.
Wrestling, probably. We were playing a whole lot of wrestling.
Oh, you nailed it.
Wrestling and Tekken on PlayStation.
Yeah, like they solved it. The thing for me, because that's 64, right?
Yes.
And the thing, 64. Brad, don't laugh. That was like my wrestling machine. All I played on that was like, I love that game so much.
Yeah. The multiplayer on N64 was insane.
Yeah. And the thing for me why I love that console specifically was because, me and Sov, we come from the era of, like, obviously I have people over at Mama Cog's house and we come from the era of like, 4 or 5 people in the house. So we always used to be like, yo, don't forget the tap. Remember the multiplayer tap. Yeah. PlayStation had a multiplayer. But I love the 64. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, yo, it's incorporated inside the console. We don't have to, like, I thought that was like revolutionary. As a person who loves cooperative gaming, like, I love Nintendo for that, and then everyone came with their little colored Batarang looking controller, you know what I'm saying, with the analog. And bro, we played that No Mercy, that WrestleMania. Oh my God. The fights, the arguments. We used to do like tournament style stuff where we get a hat, we put everybody's name in the hat. Then it's like, okay, who's gonna be facing who in the first round? We create a pay-per-view. What's the match type would be randomized, and literally, Brad. King remember, like, we bought the WCW
championship belt, the big one,
and whoever won the tournament for that, we get to go home with the stakes was high, baby. The stakes was high. Oh yeah, that's all we did. So 64 became that machine for me, and I didn't really play the rest of the lineup.
We didn't play, like, we never as a group played GoldenEye. We didn't. Nope.
Which is kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy. Think about like where GoldenEye was at that time period, and not to play it. Like, I think we all played the single player, right? We loved the single player campaign from Rare. But when it came to the multiplayer, and it's like. I remember the frame rate being like 5 frames per second.
Yeah,
split screen. I remember that, but we didn't care about that. It just again, for us, wrestling was such a big deal back then.
It's the height of wrestling.
WWF back then, and WCW kind of going.
It was the Monday Night Wars during that time, right? Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Bro, we were wrestling heads and then we would do create a player, make our wrestling. It was a thing, Brad.
And that's what happened. It was Tekken. Yeah.
So that's Nintendo. That was literally my favorite Nintendo system for a while because of that. Those Aki wrestling games. Aki made wrestling games.
Yeah, man, you guys didn't do Mario Kart. No Smash Brothers, none of that.
I know, bro.
No Mario Party, damn.
Nope. No, we're weird. Again, the height of WWE. We turn it, watch programming and WCW programming, and then literally play wrestling games all the time.
Like all those games, I would purchase all those games. Like, Cog wasn't one to purchase like the Mario stuff or whatever. I purchased all that, and I play Mario Kart with my brother by myself at home or whatever. But that's it. It was never a communal thing. It was the communal thing was wrestling or Tekken.
Damn.
Because I know why. Now I got to defend ourselves. You know what it was too is that as a group, it was like a vote of what the guys want to play.
Yeah.
So it was certain games that would always win out. It would be either the Halo, back in the day with the, TVs and the LAN parties. Obviously, Tekken was dominant for us. And then, wrestling had its run. And then, people would like fight for, we got to play this. I don't want to play. It was kind of, it was a thing.
That's funny. All right. Gentlemen, let's end the show with some write-ins from the audience. If you want to write into the show, I post a thread every Saturday on our Patreon, calling for your submissions. So keep an eye out there. We do that for all of our shows too, by the way, including Defining Duke. So I think you guys post on like a Sunday or a Monday. I'm not sure what day Maddie posted, but keep an eye out there on Patreon.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Errant Rob wrote and said, "Hey, Iron Lords and Brad, are we too spoiled with choice? Are games designed and customized to fit our taste too often? I've been seeing some real hot takes lately on games that 15 years ago would have been amazing to have. It feels like we nitpick every damn game and every aspect of games that don't fit our vision too often. For example, who would say Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a mid-game? No one. Because it's not a mid-game by any standard. It may not just be for you. So let's acknowledge games that could be incredible without having to tear them apart or tear them down a peg. Have a health as wealth kind of day, and I'll hang up and listen." Man, who's calling that game mid? Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is not mid.
Not at all. Not at all. I think it's a time and place thing, like where you come from. Like, if I show that game to my nephew, he would think it's mid, either because it's difficult or it mechanically it's more than he wants to deal with. So that immediately it's mid, and it's not just, I suck. No, it's mid. Yeah. So it's how people immediately speak about things and don't stop and think. But, objectively, is it mid? No, it's a finely crafted, amazing sort of action platformer, difficult action platformer. Not as difficult as the old games, but, it has the spirit of it. But I think it's just that, like, people, it gets looks, it gets clicks or whatever to say something sucks or is mid, and the nuanced conversation isn't the one that's going to get the most eyes on it. It's not
that part.
It's not
that part.
Yeah.
I'll jump into it. That's why I love what Rob said is that it may not just be for you. You can recognize something is great, but you can also recognize that it may not be for you. And those two can coexist, those two thought processes. And I think people can't separate it. It's like, it's not for me, though it sucks. Like, again, y'all know my history with Souls games. I don't really care for the genre, but I see the beauty in Elden Ring. I see, what I'm saying, why people love it so much kind of thing. And I think people can't separate that. And to Saul's point, it definitely helps the algorithm when you say sucks, angry face, right? It's definitely rewarded. That kind of behavior.
Yeah, and like modern gaming discourse, I should say, there's like not a lot of nuance or thoughtful discussion, I guess, because it all is just very harsh, I should say. It's all very much one way. Amazing, best thing, trash, however you want to describe it. It's all, there's really anything in the middle, it seems like, for a lot of times, because it works. And people have learned that, and they just
absolutely
continue doing it. It sucks, but there's a lot of great people out there who, of course, talk about it in depth and stuff like that, but they just don't get the shine. It's not as easy to have like a more nuanced take headline compared to just something that's very definitive and quick.
Yes, facts. Well said.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great games out there. And I guess for like us, we grew up in a different era with games compared to a lot of people who are playing games now, and it's come a long way, and we can appreciate a lot of things. I guess, well, you brought up your nephew as a great example of like, maybe it's too hard, or there's a mechanic that's too much for them. It's like kind of just back in the day. And I know people still deal with this who are newer gamers. It's like, you just learn to deal with it, and you adjust to it, and you grow from it. Yeah. And once you do, or like spend a decent amount of time with it, it can really change your opinion about a game. Gotta give them a fair shot.
Yeah, we grew up in a time period where we saw the transition from like quarter muncher arcade games coming to the home, and still them not figuring out how to make that game for the home, and you're basically playing that game like it's an arcade game at home, and frustrating. And we saw the transition to figuring that out, and we're like, hey, wait a minute, this is a home game now. We have to kind of allow them to play more of it, and we have to make it so that it's more accessible across the board. So we've seen that entire transition. And to your point, we've learned to be able to sit with a difficult game and figure it out and move on to the next thing. I think, somebody younger, they haven't had that experience unless they've sought it out at this point.
Right. Because there's so much just like instant, like a Game Pass example. This, you try it, you're like, all right, 10 minutes here, didn't dig it, I'm out. But like for us, it's like you rent that game or whatever for the weekend. That's all you got. And you're going to play it, whether it's bad or good, kind of thing like that.
Oh, facts. We was going off the hope of the strength of the box art. Now, hopefully it'll be great.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're stuck with that game for a while, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Remington Wilson wrote in and said, hey, Slitter Clears. That's an old reference. I haven't heard that in a while. I just played and beat Super Mario Galaxy for the first time. It was incredible and has cemented itself into my top 5 games of all time. It got me thinking, what's the most recent game you played for the first time and ended up being one of your favorite games ever? Thanks, boys. Keep fucking that chicken gizzard.
Wow.
What a way to end it.
Wow.
All right, I got one, but I did this years ago, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I played this game before when I was younger and I liked it a lot, but I just never finished it till I was an adult, which was Chrono Trigger. And I was like, yo, this game fucking slaps still. And it's still one of like the best JRPGs, I think, in terms of, especially for the era. I think there's just beauty and simplicity in that game.
Yeah.
It's not a very crazy system game where you're like, it's not as like, it's crazy as like Final Fantasy 6 or something at the time in terms of like building out your character, I guess. But what's there is done so well, so well. And the characters are great. It's like a much more streamlined Japanese role-playing game, I'd say, compared to a lot of games. You could beat it in like 20 hours probably or something like that. But what about you guys? Any old games that you played recently and you're like, yo, this is one of the best ever?
Now, I say that there's the criteria old game or just something recent? I'm just curious.
I guess it could just be something you played that came out a while ago. I guess there doesn't have to be like a time frame on it, but you came to the party late, essentially.
Gotcha. No, I mean, it's two. And the one I have to admit, when I started at Meta, Demio, like people, I couldn't get into VR. I was like, like I was the VR hater. I was like, whatever. It's just that third. And, shout out to the homie, the great Bill Stillwell. He was like, I got a game for you. I want you to check out this game. And I'm like, all right. And it just clicked because it felt like, virtual chess, but with turn-based. And then now you throw this the class system and a little bit D&D light, but enough for me to keep me invested. I would say that. I would also, and I love when people do things in the turn-based genre that I've never seen before, where they add little mechanics. The second game, surprisingly, is actually Gears Tactics. I am a huge Gears Tactics fan, and I get pissed this game doesn't get any, kudos. And what I like about them is the mechanic of having to kill to keep going, because it's like these endless hordes of things. And the mechanics are great, the cinematics are great, the production value is great. Shout out to Splash Damage on that one. They don't get enough credit for that game. So those are the two that I'm like, yo, these are like two of my favorite turn bases of all time. And these are like kind of franchises I didn't really know too much about, so those will be like my two.
Okay. Sov, anything for you?
Nothing recent that comes to mind, but I always think about Red Dead Redemption 1. I had a thing where I didn't care about Western games. I remember I picked up Gun at the launch of the 360.
Oh yeah, Gun.
Gun. And I remember they had an OG Xbox version and a 360 version. I'm like, let me just get it. Like I said, it was one of those times I was like, let me just get every launch game for this. I don't know how many launch games.
Disposable income be damned.
Yeah, exactly. I got Gun. And, I played it. I must have played it for like an hour or two. And I'm like, it's cool. But for me, just the Western aesthetic never did anything for me. So Red Dead Redemption comes out I never played Red Dead Revolver either, maybe for an hour or so. So Redemption comes out 2010. And I'm like, I don't care if it's a Rockstar game. I'm not playing this. I'm like, it's not for me. It's not for me at all. And I stood fast on that for like 2 years. And for 2 years, I heard nothing but people bloviate about how amazing this game was. And I'm like, I have to do it. I have to do it. I was getting ready for GTA 5 to come out, and 2012 for GTA 5. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm in a rock star mood. Let me finally just do this. And back then, like I said, I had a booklet full of every game that I wanted. But I was like, if I'm going to invest myself in this game, I have to purchase it. Otherwise, if it's just the copy that I have here, I'm not going to play it. So bought it, brought it home, started playing it. And I guess it was just time and place. I was ready to accept what that game was. And it was the most transformative, beautiful experience I've ever had. Like, it was a point in my life, and it was I played it in 2012, so 2 years later, and I'm on the verge. I'm getting ready to get married and stuff like that. Like, a lot of changes coming in my life. So this is the one thing that I sat there and I played the main campaign. I played Undead Nightmare. All that stuff was out and ready to go. So I had all of that. And I got so immersed in that game. And there were moments like, I had the surround sound and all that stuff going, lights out. And I would just be like in awe of moments when I'm just in the desert with John Marston on horseback. And the silence of the desert and just the sounds of like the wilderness and the animals. And then the little, just the little audio cues in the background. I was like, this is really special. I've never felt this from any game where I've literally been transported to a world. And since then, I've been hooked. But it took that. It took me like just being in a Rockstar type mood, excited for GTA 5. And then I played GTA 5. I love GTA 5. But in my book, it doesn't hold the candle to Red Dead 1. And then Red Dead 2 is just next tier for me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great examples.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remington. You speak Mario Galaxy, you gotta do Galaxy 2 now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Incredible game, man. All right, this is from, I changed my name so you'd read it. Summoners, have you ever played a game without understanding a critical mechanic? I played through a large chunk of Dark Souls through Blighttown, not knowing you could lock on to enemies. Wow. Recently, I completed Tinykin, which is like Pikmin without the combat. I did not realize I could recall my guys, so I walked around gathering them constantly like some chump. All the best.
I've got one.
Okay, yeah.
Brad, you're going to appreciate this. Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out.
Oh, no.
I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go. I'm playing this game. And I get to these boss encounters as the game goes on, and I'll never forget when I got to the Sephiroth encounter.
Mm-hmm.
I literally did not know that when I unlocked, like I was working on all my material, my cure material, this material, and it's unlocked the final level of it.
Yeah.
But in the fight, I'm not pressing the D-pad over to actually use the thing. So I'm thinking by default, it would do it automatically, but I'm using like base level Curaga, base level Fireman.
Wow.
Bro,
you were literally to the side, like to get the up. No.
Bro, I'm fighting Sephiroth I'm like fighting for my life. I'm curing myself every 5 seconds because that little bit of cure that you get with the base level spells.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting everyone with base level stuff. It's not until Attic told me, he was like, bro, like you have to move that over to the side. So I'm mad at the game, even though it's my fault. I'm mad at the game that it should have defaulted to that as the once you unlock it as the first.
That's so funny.
My dumb self used base level spells for the entire game.
That's crazy.
Yes. Embarrassing, but true.
Yeah.
Didn't do that with Rebirth and all of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm better now. But yeah, that was a problem for me.
That's really funny. Damn. I can't think of something off the top of my head. So yeah, if you got something, go ahead.
For me, I make sure that I understand the games. Like for me, when you give me a game, a lot of like an RPG or whatever, or an open world game, anything sandboxy, the first thing I do is mess around in the world to figure out all the mechanics up front. before I do anything of significance. So it's funny, like I think back to our Starfield review, and all these guys are going through like the story stuff. And by the time we get around to review it, I think I had the most hours in the game, but I had done the least story-wise. So I was just messing around with mechanics. So for me, like, obscure mechanics that I don't use or didn't know were in a game doesn't happen to me often, because I'm kind of anal about that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm very anal about that stuff, about figuring it out. So yeah, I try to use everything at my disposal, and if at all possible, I try to figure that out up front before I even truly engage with the game as a whole. Like, so yeah, so I haven't really had too many instances that I can recall that has happened where I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize I could do this.
You know, you was mentioning it. I'm thinking back. I don't know if you guys have played Crimson Desert at all, but
yeah.
There is like a million fucking systems in that game.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what it is specifically, but I remember talking to like Lockmort about it, and him being like, oh, you could do this kind of thing. And I was like, oh, I had no idea that there was something in this game. So there's definitely small cases like that. There's mechanics of games where I just ignore them, where I'm like, I don't really care about that. Like, or an aspect like Oblivion, I played some of, and there was like whole spell crafting, you can make your own spells and all that shit. And I'm like, I ain't dealing with that kind of thing. I don't want to mess with that kind of thing.
It's kind of, I guess I feel the same way about Fallout, like all the base building stuff. Like
base building,
mess me with all that. I don't want to do any of that.
I'm good.
Same with Starfield, all that base building on there now. Nope, don't want to do it. None of it.
I only recently started doing that in Starfield with Terra Armada, because they actually force you to do it in like as one part of a quest, and they like go down painstakingly how to do it. So I'm like, all right, I'll do this quest, and then once I'm done, I'm not doing this again. But yeah, to your point, those type of things as well. I tend not to do.
Yeah. All right, final write-in here from Ricardo C. Greetings, Chooms. With the winding down of Destiny 2 and a third one not being greenlit, mostly due to the cost, my estimate is a proper one would take over 500 million, probably more than that. Will we ever see another big AAA MMO/MMO light again? Is the opportunity cost and upkeep for this genre too much for most developers? Very respectfully, Ricardo C. P.S. I wish I had been old enough to try Star Wars Galaxies. Yeah, I remember a couple friends played that. Okay, MMOs, modern MMOs at least. I don't know if you guys saw, but the whole Ashes of Creation fiasco going on with that game. That game's dead. That was like an MMO that people were excited about for a long time.
Yeah.
There will be new MMOs, I feel like, always, because it is such a big genre. But the era of like the early 2000s, I guess, getting MMOs constantly is kind of over. But I think there will always be a new MMO, just way fewer than we gotten back in the days. Like I believe there will be another big MMO. Like there will be another Final Fantasy MMO sometime in the future once 14's done. World of Warcraft will continue to go. Hopefully they do another one, but I feel like there will always be an MMO. But the genre is incredibly expensive.
Yes.
Because you got to make the game, of course, and maintain it for years and years and years.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a good question. I agree with you, Brad. I think that they will exist. It's just the AAA one. I'm starting to see a little side of the case. If you could figure out that budget on start, because obviously we see the Destiny thing, but I'm thinking about, remember ZeniMax had that great one that got canceled from that, I think the guy's name is Matt.
Right, yeah.
People were like, people played it, was like, this is the most amazing thing. And then because of budgeting costs or whatever's going on with Xbox, they got rid of it. But it's getting tough, man. It's getting tough. And then you got to look at market saturation, right? It's just so many things trying to pull away from your time. The company, though, that I think right now I think's got the most, and they seem to be doing well with it, is Snail Games. Those are the people that do Ark. I've seen a lot of those games. Like, they always coming out with an MMO. But it seems like budget-wise, they're in pocket. You know what I'm saying? It feels like they're just above double A kind of energy. But yeah, it's one of those genres that I think that will exist continually. I just don't know. We'll see, like you said, the boom of how it was back in the day, because these things are costly in the upkeep.
Yeah, I think MMOs have changed kind of what they were from what we recognize them as. Like, I would say modern day like gacha games are kind of like MMOs essentially, like the newer version of that or a new take on that. And those are, of course, very popular, and there is more coming out. So, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's not in the cards, to stand in front of and stand in front of a company of a whatever CFO, whatever, and be like, hey, I need, $500 million to make this thing that may or may not be successful. It's going to take me, 10 years to make it. And then I'm going to have to upkeep it for the next 20. But, I think it's just a hard sell in this economic environment, right? It's tough. So I do think, the idea of something smaller, not AAA, the MMO light or whatever. I think about State of Decay 3, right? And Undead Labs. And it's like, I remember for the longest time, they were saying, hey, the dream is the State of Decay MMO, right? This is the dream of what we want for this game. And looking at State of Decay 3 from what we've seen so far, it seems like if they went down that road, they decided, no, we need to kind of whittle this down a little bit, make it more accessible, make it more something that we can handle. Obviously, graphically, it looks like it's taken a step up, but it isn't anything to sort of write home about either. So it's a type of genre that I still think you could do cool stuff with if you're able to function within a certain budget and make it small. And then obviously, if gamers respond to it and the reaction to it is such that warrants it getting more money and time to expand upon it, great. But I think that investment up front is a hard sell for a lot of companies. Like you said before, though, I think thinking about it now, a Destiny 3 is the one that does feel like it would be most likely a success, right? But it's a matter of getting it there and being able to have the money and the time and the resources to put that game out. And I just don't, I don't know that Sony's along for that ride anymore. So it's tough because you have certain things that are can be as sure of a bet as you can have in the space. But it's just tough because, again, over the long haul, I don't think anybody wants to make that commitment because things have shifted so quickly that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But anybody with a smaller game that, wants to try their hand at it and again, and see the community grow it and not be aiming for the top of the mountain from the beginning, probably has a chance to get some eyes on it. And I hope that's what would happen because I would not want to see it go away completely. Never.
Yeah. Soulframe from the Warframe guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's a new
that's right.
coming out. So they're still coming.
Oh, yeah.
And Brad, so what happened with the game you talked about, the one you mentioned, the debacle?
Oh, Ashes of Creation. There's like a whole legal thing going on there about like funds getting stolen and used for nefarious or other.
So it never made it to market. No,
it never did. It was a Kickstarter game. Wow. It was a kind of disaster. There was an early access on Steam.
Yeah.
And it was a mess.
Man. Yeah.
Mess. Yeah.
It's a shit show out there.
Yeah. Oh, it sure is. Yeah. Be careful with your money.
Yeah, for sure.
Be careful with your money. Speaking of which, I just saw Star Citizen just making crazy
just bank money. Just more and more bank. Have you seen that game? I've never actually seen what that game is.
I haven't seen it in like years though. Yeah, Star Citizen has raised $1 billion, yet remains in early access after 9 years.
Shout out to Star Citizen.
Yeah, wild game. All right, boys, we are done. Thank you guys for joining me. Cog, of course, always see you. It's great seeing you, man.
Yeah,
love chatting with you.
Likewise, got my bro here, so it's long overdue. We got him outside. You know what I mean? This is a rare occasion, y'all. Trust me. Yeah, y'all better cherish this. This does not happen. This man is one of the busiest men going. So just to be able to get his time to sit down. I know, Brad, you've been working on us, so appreciate your patience on this. And it's fun, man. You gotta bring the Iron Lord to the summer side, So
yeah, of course. Some fun. Yeah, Sov, thanks for coming on, man. I know it's Memorial Day too, by the way, for everyone. It's a holiday, but they made time to go on the show.
Oh
so
man, thank you. Right? I'm sure you have better things to do than be on here with us, but thank you for the accommodation, man, because usually I don't have time. So yeah, thanks for having me on. An absolute blast. Yeah, this is the first time I'm on since we did a preview for Redfall.
Wow.
It was me, Cog, and Maddie. Oh, and I remember because I caught a lot of flack in the chat because people said I was spoiling parts of the game in the preview. I was like, I bet you're happy I spoiled it for you now. How did that go?
You're right about that one.
Man. Yeah, what a game.
But yeah, what a game. Yeah. That's for sure, man.
No, you called it. You were like, I don't know, man. You called it early. You was like, I don't know if this is the multiplayer aspect is giving enough meat to the single player stuff to play it solo.
I was so mad. Me and Maddie were like, yo, if they hit this out of the park, this is gonna be so amazing. This is gonna be so amazing. And then we played it and we're like, yo, they might have something here. And then we got it home and it wasn't the same thing at all. It was so bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but shout out. Thank you so much for having me on, Brad. It's a pleasure. And see you in a couple of weeks in
sir. Yeah, in LA for Summer Game Fest. Sir. Yeah. Before we go though, anything you guys want to promote? Shout out.
Check us out. We actually did a couple cool things. So we got an interview with Mike Reinhardt. This guy is formerly of Sega, formerly of 2K Sports. I don't brag a lot. That's one of our better interviews we've had some time. This guy, he is a treasure trove of gaming information, but he has been a part of an inflection point. He was there. He tested Shenmue before Shenmue released on the work with Yu Suzuki. He was part of the team that worked at 2K Sports through the NFL 2K5 where they were $20 and beat Madden. He's got ties at Ubisoft. So we didn't even get into that. We didn't even get into what he's doing now with PlayOn and retro consoles. He's doing the Neo Geo AES.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's kind of revolutionary in the sense that it's allowing you to still play your old cartridges as well and stuff like that. There's stuff we're going to do a part 2, but if you go check that out, it's up on the Iron Lord Podcast YouTube channel. Please, man, it is a treat. And we talk retro, we talk classic gaming, vintage gaming, and then how gaming was from his experience. And then what did he call it? Like Nerd Network?
The Nerd Network, because he was the guy. Yeah, he wasn't really allowed to have games in the house, so he had to figure out how to play games.
And you would appreciate it, Brad, because a lot of Cali talk, and how the scene in the industry was bubbling and trying to get a job, and him being a tester during before the Dreamcast's launch, and the stories, like he is spitting. So that just went up yesterday. Again, support if you can. Obviously, we do Lords After Dark with Insider Gaming, and of course, everything. That's how we.
Our latest episode, we're a little spicier, a lot of F-bombs left and right. But our latest episode there in Lords After Dark is a tale of two developers, like the fall of Bungie and the rise of Playground. So it's an interesting conversation. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good one. So support Lords After Dark. And again, that's on the Insider Gaming app. And we got stuff going with ILP. And then obviously 2 weeks Summer Games Fest is going to be a lot of stuff.
Exciting.
Of course, we support the Fighting Duke, my homie Maddie. I'll be making actually, Brad, you got my debut from being away. You know what I'm saying?
A while.
Yes, you got the debut
that
first.
From Maddie.
You snatched it from Maddie. You know what I'm saying? Then Rebel the Dukes, they'll see me this week.
Yeah, very good. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Thanks for watching and listening. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Take care and goodbye. Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Colin's Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.